Det viktigste med drifting, det dekka. Det eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kenda i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kenda var da, men hvor de på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless, too transcend.
It's how we do.
Diving to me is like a sense of freedom. Nobody forces me, nobody pushing me. I choose to do it.
My grandfather would refer to it as like the last place that God made it. As far west as you can go in the country. The last sunset in Europe in the millennium was over Jersey Island, you know. What better view can you ask for?
Fight.
Det viktigste med drifting, det er dekka. Det er eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så er dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kildare i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kildare var da, men hvor de er på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless, too transcendent.
It's how we do.
Diving to me is like a sense of freedom. Nobody forces me, nobody pushing me. I choose to do it.
My grandfather would refer to it as like the last place that God made, as far west as you can go in the country. The last sunset in Europe in the millennium was over Jersey Island, you know. What better view can you ask for?
Det viktigste med drifting, det er dekka. Det er eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så er dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kildare i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kildare var da, men hvor de er på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless, too transcend. It's how we do.
Diving to me is it's like a sense of freedom. Nobody forces me, nobody pushing me. I choose to do it.
My grandfather would refer to it as like the last place that God made, as far west as you can go in the country. The last sunset in Europe in the millennium was over Jersey Island, you know. What better view can you ask for?
One, two, 1, 2.
One, two, 1, 1, 1, 2.
Check,
One,
check.
two,
1, 2.
1, 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to IDS. Irish Drifting is back, baby. We are here in Mondello Park for round one of the Irish Drift Series 2026, and we are here on this Saturday for Pro2 action, the feeder series, the lifeblood of Irish drifting, on a beautiful, sunny spring morning here. My name is Mike Fitz, and I'm joined here in the tower by the one and only Adam, driver all the way from County Kerry, and we have a packed grid of hungry Pro2 drivers, the future of Irish drifting, the breeding ground of talent in this fantastic drifting country. The championship which names like James Dean, Conor Shanahan, Jack Shanahan, etc., etc. came through. Dwayne McKeever, keep going. All these guys you see out of Drift Masters, all these guys in Formula Drift, every one of them cut their teeth in this exact championship here. So, Adam, as I said, it's great to have drifting back here. We're here in the home of Irish drifting. We're here in Mondello Park. What a morning. It's great to be back. And what are your thoughts on the Pro2 Championship? Where are we heading? And this country is so amazing in terms of talent. What are your thoughts on the championship, and where's it going to go, and what are we going to see today?
Absolutely insane, Mike. Last year I was with you for the whole Pro2 Championship, and when you say Pro2, I could have said Pro1, and I would not have been mistaken, because these drivers are driving at an unbelievable level, a level that it can't be matched across the world when you put it in the stakes of being a Pro2. We see a lot of last year's Pro2 drivers going up to Pro1 this year, and we're going to see them out on track tomorrow. But we have a lot of big stacked lineup in front of us here for today. In fact, featuring nearly 83 drivers in the Pro2 category, and that's just for round one here, Mike.
Absolutely, yeah. There are 80 drivers, as you said, Adam. Absolutely stacked grid full of Pro2 juniors, Pro2 rookies, and of course Pro2 outright drivers. Now, just to go through that really quickly for the crowd, and you know, the Pro2 crowd tend to be the hardcores. They kind of tend to know what's going on. But if it's your first time being here, or if it's your first time watching online on YouTube, we have 3 separate classes in the Pro2 class, which all kind of amalgamate into one battle action later on. But basically, we have the Pro2 juniors, which is drivers between the ages of 13 and 16. We have the Pro2 rookies, which is first-time competitors, or competitors who have already competed previously in years previous, but have never qualified for a twin battle. And then we have the Pro2 outrights, which are drivers who do not fall into either of those categories. Now, just bear in mind that the Pro2 juniors have their own championship just based on their qualifying scores. The Pro2 rookies also have their own championship based on the qualifying scores alone. So these 2 laps that these guys are going to put in on their own, with all the pressure of the cameras on them, the crowd in the grandstand, all that pressure is on their shoulders just for the qualifying runs. But it does give them the advantage of, you know, getting scores on the board and competing within their own championship. We have a standalone podium for each of these classes later on, so it's really, really good. But in addition to that, if these guys do manage to qualify in the top 32 of these 80 drivers, they do go into Pro2 battle action outright and can score points in the Pro2 Championship. So therefore, it is actually possible for a Pro2 junior driver, which we saw already happening last year, to be contending for the Pro2 outright championship. So it's really amazing, to be honest. It's a great system for breeding the future talent. Adam, I do believe we're going to run over the calendar for the year.
Absolutely, Mike. We have a stacked calendar up this year, so we do, including 6 rounds, 5 Pro2 rounds and 6 Pro1 rounds, which is quite interesting actually, because the Pro1s will only be marked out of 5 of their best rounds, which gives them a great opportunity. Say, for example, they miss a round, have car issues, or just don't score as great as they hoped. They'll only be scored out of their top 5 rounds, but that's great for everyone in attendance here today, and everyone at home. You're getting 6 full rounds of unbelievable entertainment. So you will be. We have a great lineup. It's starting off here in Japfest, Mondello Park for round 1, and then we'll be heading down to Watergrass Hill for round 2. Then, if I'm correct in so saying, we're heading up north again to Bishop's Court, which is always great fun, very entertaining, and a very unique venue, a ex-World War airfield, so it is. And then we're back down to Kerry again. Then we're down to Kerry, and then we're back here to Mondello Park with a brand new layout, which will be very, very entertaining. So you'll see more about that on our social medias in the coming weeks.
Absolutely, Adam. So a full calendar, and we will be bringing you all those details according as the year goes on, and keep you informed of all the action. Be sure to follow us on Irish Drift Series on the various socials, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. And of course, once again, if you want to see the action from the judges' point of view, if you're here in attendance in Mondello Park, be sure to catch it live on the YouTube. If you can get coverage in Mondello Park, that is, it is a rarity here, but hopefully you'll be able to grab some if you're on the right network. And yeah, you can see exactly what we're seeing with the replays, etc. etc. Interestingly as well, of course, for the Pro 2 series, it is road tyres on the rear of these cars. It has to be a road compound tyre, unlike the Pro class, which we'll see tomorrow, where you'll see a lot more pace, a lot more horsepower, a lot higher spec transmissions in order to take the extra load. The Pro 2 series today can only compete on road tyres. However, if you are running 15-inch wheels, crucially, you can run semi-slicks. This was brought in a couple of years ago in order to give maybe the smaller cars, you know, the AE86s, the likes of that, to bring them back into competition and give them a little bit of an advantage in terms of they're not going to be really slow around the track compared to some of the 600 brake horsepower monsters, which we tend to see in the Pro 2 series these days. So that does bring up quite an interesting kind of mismatch of horsepower and different driving styles and different ways of going about things. But that's why I personally love the Pro 2 Championship. It just throws up so many surprises. It throws up such a David and Goliath battle regularly, and we always see the BMW versus Nissan battles playing out as well. So how's qualifying going to work? Of course, we have to qualify the drivers to get them into twin battle action later on. So how qualifying works is each driver has 2 non-consecutive laps, meaning that they will go do their first lap, and they are in reverse championship order from the finishes last year. They'll do their first lap, and then they go back to the back of the grid basically, or they can go to the pits, get their car a little bit finely tuned for the second lap, maybe loosen it up or maybe tighten up the grip a little bit or whatever, and get back out for their second lap. So you get 1 lap, you go back in, you get yourself together, and you come out, do your second lap, and that is you done. Now once again, the rookies and juniors will be of course competing for points in their own championship based on this, and the Pro 2 drivers will be just trying to qualify outright for top 32 battles. Also worth bearing in mind, there are championship points on the line for the Pro 2 drivers, so they will be trying to qualify highly in order to get those very important championship points. And also worth noting, of course, is the higher you qualify, Adam, the better chance, theoretically at least, you have in the top 32, because if you qualify in first position, you face off against the guy who qualified in 32nd. Second plays 31st, and so on, so on. So you basically give yourself a little bit of an easier draw in terms of who you're going to be up against. So that's qualifying explained, and of course we will be getting into top 32 battle action later on. We'll whittle that down to 16, where we enter the main show. And also worth remembering, guys, one more thing, is that we will be bringing up some drivers from today into tomorrow's competition here at Japfest in Mondello Park, the crown jewel of domestic competition in front of 16,000 spectators, the biggest event of the year, and many would say the best event of the year. Definitely rivals the Drift Masters European Series, I think, in terms of entertainment, and definitely actually draws a slightly bigger crowd as well, I think, if you look around the pits there. So huge stuff on the line here, Adam. This championship can change lives. It changed my own life. I won this myself in 2009, I think. So it sent me on a path of sponsorship with Bridgestone the year after, which sent me into this sport properly. And, you know, it's just been a fantastic breeding ground for talent. And there's a lot on the line. It's a family sport these days. You see all the moms and dads in the pits helping out, and all these young guns are aiming to make their name in the sport and make their way into it.
Absolutely, Mike. We've seen some new drivers come in last year, some young, some old, so many different mixed backgrounds and stuff like that. Some people new into Irish drifting, some people coming across from the UK and further abroad as well. And even this year we have some new drivers as well, such as Darren Galvin, Sam McGurthy, that we'll be seeing out on track very shortly for qualifying. It's really entertaining to see these drivers progress. Like, say for example last year, Jamie Hines, a young man, 4 foot tall, maybe, let's say, looks like he's looks like he should be sitting second class making his communion or something, but he was out there driving on track, putting up to some big names. He made himself get into the Pro 1s on the Sunday at a few rounds last year, and he did not hold back. You would not tell that he was only a 16-year-old last year, if I'm sure I'm saying, 17 now, but you would not have said he's a 16-year-old while he was driving in that car. You could have said he was absolutely anyone. The talent in these young drivers, especially with the progression they're getting, the experience they're getting from driving on simulators, playing video games and stuff, you may not think it helps out as much, but it really does, and we're seeing that for a fact while we see these drivers out on track. It's really insane, especially for yourself, Mike, as a driver who's around quite a long time. Around a long time.
Careful now.
Try not to call you too old, but you're around, and you saw different ages of drifting. You saw where people just kind of came from just being a group of lads in a garage into just being, you know, family sport.
Yeah, it is, Adam, and that's a very good point. As we get to warming the first car and we're almost ready to kick off IDS 2026, Irish drifting is back. I'm very excited, genuinely very excited. It's not a commentary thing. I'm genuinely psyched. But yeah, I mean, I have to agree with everything you said there. It used to be a sport where, you know, mainly guys, but some girls as well used to just get into it, get it done with the buddies, car in the garage kind of thing, and, you know, just get it done, drive on. However, now it is definitely a much more of a family sport according to the cost rows and stuff. So yeah, it's been a massive progression.
Absolutely, Mike. And talking about progression, it's a huge shout out to everyone involved in putting the championship together this year, including everyone that follows us online and supports us. It's really helping the championship grow, especially in the likes of the live stream. I just want to give a special shout out to our sponsors this year, specifically Lucky Day Competitions and Red Bull Energy, who's really helped empower the scene this year, as well as Kenda Tires, Driftmasia, Strom Wheels, GMD Tires, Yugen Factory, Group D, Turn Tire Distribution, Max Flow, Exemplar, Exact Science and LexiBrake. We'll talk more about them later, Mike, but the action is about to kick off. Our first car is up on the line, warming up his tyres. It's brand new driver, it's Darren Galvin.
Yeah, Darren Galvin is a Pro 2 rookie, a new driver. So I do believe Darren decided to do the competition just a couple of days ago, and he is full throttle up the track here, and we are ready to go for Irish Drifting 2026. Darren Galvin in the E92 BMW, struggling a little bit here, showing straight away how difficult this is. It's not so easy. It does look easy on camera for the more experienced drivers, but trust me, it is not easy. Darren Galvin here pulling it together a little bit for the second half of his lap here. Oh, right on the wall, and busts his E92 backlight on the wall. As a result, then picks up a lot of angle, and just goes to show there, you know what, it is a little bit difficult, Adam, and again, you're watching practice there, and the guys who are at it a couple of years, they make it look easy, but it is not easy, and Darren Galvin demonstrating that.
Absolutely. I've seen a lot of drivers out practicing yesterday and are struggling with the grip. Darren Galvin only sitting on 260 brake horsepower, a bit of NA power there in that BMW.
Yeah, the Kildare man, actually.
He's
Darren
doing
Galvin.
the best he can. A small bit of wet conditions this morning, but it's going to be sunny for the rest of the weekend, so he's going to push that car to the limit.
A Kerry man like yourself.
A Kerry man like myself, absolutely. I see him practicing loads in one of our tracks down in Kerry, 360 Motorsport. And Darren Galvin putting on his first score of the day. It's a 52 for Darren Galvin.
Yeah, we move it along. So it should be Alex Williams on track right now in the very brightly coloured S14 Sylvia. Much better entry this time. And a nice line there from Alex as he crosses clip 2 and picks up clipping zone 3. We'll explain that to you as we go along. Now he's all the way into outer zone 4. Nice transition all the way into 5, maybe a little bit overhanging it, in fact. Just a dab of the handbrake as he gets on to 6. And beautifully there around our Mondello Park track. 7 clipping points and zones included, of course, here in this track. And out the chute, as we say. The layout for tomorrow, I believe, will be the proper ring layout. But for Pro 2 action, we transition them back at the end as well. Just one more chance to get right on the door as they cross the line.
Absolutely, that car looked outstanding. He's a driver that's actually come over from the UK for this weekend, Mike, so he has, and he's brought style and he's brought a bit of talent, putting down his first run. We're waiting for the score back from the judges, so we'll let you know as soon as possible. We do see our next driver up on the line getting ready to set off. It will be TJ Toomey up next.
Right, so Alex Williams getting a score of 87.7 there. Big score for Alex Williams. So straight away, you know, putting a score on the board as we move it on straight away. Once again, it is the Pro 2 rookie TJ Toomey flicking in the naturally aspirated BMW in over the hill here and catching the grip there just at zone 2. The cars really hunker down on the rear suspension there as they go into the dip, and it can shallow up the line quite a lot unless you're carrying a lot of speed through it. So TJ there going a little bit shallow at 3 as a result, but nicely back onto the wall here, and full throttle here around 5, 6 and 7. Full throttle transition, a little bit of an adjustment just before he hit number 7 there, but overall the right idea there from TJ. But I think the judges will be marking him down quite a lot for the correction there the missing zone 3, because the judges will be really wanting drivers to get in there. That's the most technical part.
Absolutely, he has a bit of experience. Again, he's only 17 years old, a young man from Limerick, sitting his leaving cert this year, so he is. But he's out there and he put a score on the board of 62.7. We're back to the line. Our next driver up is Thomas Ray in, if I'm sure someone's saying, a 350Z coming over the year. It's one of the Rashman YouTubers, great entertainers. Just about misses zone 3 there, but initiates back into zone 4, trying to keep it out there. That NA power in that 350Z, trying to flick it in here for zone 5 and up against the wall. It's Simon Osborne out on track, sorry, mistaken on names, initiates and finishes his run.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Thomas Ray was next on our list there, but it is indeed Simon Osborne on track at the moment. So, a couple of drivers not making it to the grid there last minute. And Simon Osborne gets the first of our 350Zs across the line, of course, the most popular up-and-coming chassis now these days. Okay, so it is a 50.3 there for Simon Osborne, 50.3 as we move it along. Next is Sean Finnell leaving the line. The man, a crazy man behind the wheel, but you know what? Very measured as well sometimes. You know, I know Sean very well. He's a customer of ours at Group D. Crazy man behind the wheel, and you know, I thought that when he came into competition that he'd be very wild, but he's actually the opposite. He's very measured in competition, which makes a change. Maybe a little bit too measured on the start of this lap here, a bit maybe not wild enough for the entry, the 350 not quite having the legs to get it out the 3. But a solid score on the board there for Sean Finnell, the rookie driver. And of course, guys, once again, we are in reverse championship order from last year, so you'll see the competitors who didn't compete last year first, and of course, we will be getting, you know, stronger and stronger recording as we go along. So it's a 53.7 for Sean Finnell as we move it along to Sean Farrell. Not confusing at all.
Absolutely, Sean Farrell initiating over the hill here, just going a bit too deep into zone 1. Unfortunately, shuts it down now, catching the dirt up there around zone 1. The track's very dry, and I'm sure this guy isn't running too much power. As it says here on the live stream, 180 brake horsepower, Mike. That's insane comparing it to some of the other cars we've seen on the grid this weekend. Unfortunately, shutting it down there will be a 0 for Sean Farrell on his first run of the day, but a great looking BMW E36. I have a bit of a soft spot for red E36, don't I?
You do, yeah, you do. You know, I should be an E36 guy because that's like right my era, but I'm kind of an E30 or 46 guy, to be honest, and a 92 guy. But yeah, I appreciate a 36, but they're just not my go-to personally. But nice car, like you said. Now Ross Patterson is on the line, speaking of BMWs, and looking very dapper there in his profile picture on our live stream is Ross, and Ross is also a rookie driver and is on the line. The nerves right now on the line can be tough, especially as a rookie driver. It's your first time on the line, and you know, you're here with the new car probably being built all winter. And Ross, the 29-year-old from County Down, the mechanic, he's just been doing bashes for the last 4 years, but look at this, fires it in over the hill. 2 JZ power in the BMW here by Ross, and it's a much better entry that time from this BMW. Fills the whole lot of outer zone 4 here now, puts foot to floor. Does he get 5? He does. He picks it up beautifully. Nice angle. Now drags the handbrake on the wall. The judges will want to see less of a handbrake, but they will allow it. It is a deceleration zone onto the wall there, so a nice measured lap there from Ross Patterson. Used the handbrake when he needed to adjust onto the line at him, and nothing too crazy. Just get a score on the board, get yourself in the show. Absolutely, definitely a man that was paying attention this morning in briefing, and you can see so by his score. It's an 82.3 for Ross Patterson in his BMW E46 2JZ
powered, sitting about 550 brake, Mike, so he has all the power he needs this weekend. Anyways, we're back to the line. It's Ronan Doherty coming over the hill here in Mondello Park in his PS13. Initiates, try and get his way all the way into zone 3 and transitions into zone 4. When he fill out the zone, he's pushing right to the edge of the track. Loads of angle here, exactly what our judges want to see. It's looking great so far. Flicks it back into 5 and up against the wall here in front of the grandstand. A great run, swam is shallow there as he enters into 6, but sorts it out and gets right back out to the outer edge for the final zone. A lovely run there by Ronan Doherty.
Yeah, maybe could have been a foot or so closer to the wall to pick up those last couple of points. But overall, a solid run from Ronan. Very solid. In fact, the judges liking that, 86.3. And it looks like the cut-off zone is going to be super, super high. Of course, we have seen Formula Drift and DMEC to a point going with the Wally system, the electronic system, to gauge all your scores from qualifying, your angles and your proximities, but still doing it the old-fashioned way here in Ireland. It is 3 judges who are Kieran Hines, Alan Hines and Tom Murphy. So Kieran Hines alone with 76 years of judging experience under his belt, just with Kieran alone.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
76 years with Kieran, and of course out in the Oman International Drift Championship at the start of the year, running that show. And yeah, Alan Hines, of course, former Irish champion a couple of years ago and a current Drift Masters European Championship competitor. Won't be doing the first round because the car will not be back from aforementioned championship, but will be competing definitely here in Mondello for round 3. So you heard it here first. And of course Tom Murphy, a long-time competitor, long-time judge as well. We won't let him on commentary. We won't do that.
It'd be quite dangerous if we were to leave Tom Murphy on commentary.
Is all you get.
He's dangerous enough out on track, Mike.
Yeah, we won't put Tom on commentary. We let him at the judging, but a very experienced judge and competitor as well, so lots of experience there. Now on track, just being checked out by the marshals, we do have the man himself. It is Rad Don Burkett, otherwise known as Donald Burke, but Rad Don Burkett. It's not Rad Dan, like you might see in Formula Drift in his Supra. It is Rad Don, and Rad Don in the 343 brake horsepower BMW here, and yeah, he is a long-time guy around the drift scene, a very, very funny man as well, looking very dapper also on his profile pic, and he is coming to do some competition here in Mondello Park. He's coming in fast here, late initiation there, almost drove through zone 1, but he does manage to pick up 2 and 3 quite nicely. A little bit shallow on the transition, but does get the car right out to the outside, and then it just comes in a little bit, as we saw perfectly there on the live stream. We hear the clutch kicks here, and you can see even with 343 brake horsepower, these cars are hooking up so hard, even on this road tyre, that they are like pushing the car to the inside of the track. You really need that horsepower and wheel speed to get out to the outside zones. But Rad Don there once again, couple of mistakes creeping in, but does get a score on the board.
Absolutely, Rad Don Burke. A man that has loads of experience in the battling. We've seen him many times in team drift in his Bus Full of Nuns team that he's often running events. But it's a 58 on the board for Rad Don Burke. Up next is our next driver. It's Niall McInerney in his E36 coming over the hill here in Mondello.
Niall McNamara, in fact.
McNamara, my apologies.
Yeah, Niall McInerney is from Innis, but this is Niall McNamara. So Niall McNamara in his BMW, looking good here. 18 years old, 280 brake horsepower, so even less than Rad Don here, but making it work very, very nicely. Livered BMW right on the wall, blipping the throttle here. And, you know, maybe just has the car set up what we call looser. Maybe the car's not quite as gripped up, a little bit easier to drive. Won't be as fast, but will be much easier to drive. And that's what you want for qualifying, Adam.
Absolutely, Mike, especially when you're running not too high of a horsepower of 280 brake only. Going a bit deep there into zone 6 there, nearly going into the wall, so I thought. But fortunately it doesn't. We'll get his score in just a moment, but up next it's Mikey Walsh coming over the hill here in the A86. A great looking car through zone 4, trying to get it right out to the edge, fill the zone as best as he can. Transitions here into zone 5, really deep, maybe just dropping a tyre a little bit, pulling a handbrake into zone 6, drops a tyre again unfortunately, and into the final zone across the line. Great looking car and unbelievable sounding car, Mike.
Dermot, my old friend Dermot O'Connell's car there. Mikey Walsh, of course, famous there in the James Dean videos. Mikey is an old friend of mine as well, so obviously borrowing Dermot's car for the weekend, the SR20 Corolla, and it's a 78 from Mikey Walsh, who is in the scene a long, long time as well. But we can't dwell on the handsome Mikey Walsh. We have to move it along to Luke McCormick, the 30-year-old in the possibly lowest powered car on the grid, if we're to believe him, because it's 190 brake horsepower, we're told. can he get it around the track even in Mondello? It is the widest and biggest track that we use in Irish drifting. It's a big ask for this amount of power. The Wicklow man struggling so far a little bit and kicking the clutch a lot, and yeah, just over kooky it a little bit at him.
Just before the final zone. Do you not, Mike? It's one thing saying a low horsepower car going around Mondello track here. It's like on the bash days. On the bash days, we see them going around, they're able to make it work, but here in competition, they're trying to get into every single zone, put down the exact line, the same line that we're expecting these high-power cars to do. So it's a 0 on the board for him. We're moving on to our next driver. It's Luke Fisher coming over the hill here in his Skyline. I was chatting to this man yesterday, having a few issues, but sorting them out. Big handbrake drag into zone 4 there, trying to fill it as much as he can. Lots of tire smoke. You can see that the track is so dry out there. Just in front of the grandstand here, right up against the wall. Unfortunately, a bit shy and shallow on zone 6 and crosses the line. Luke Fisher, we see him competing as well last year, Mike, so we did through a few rounds. I think this was the only track that he missed last year, if I'm true so in saying. So his first time competing here. It's a score on the board anyways for Luke Fisher. It's a 67.
67 for Luke Fisher. 6-7? 6-7. So Kieran O'Dwyer, the man from North Kerry, with a couple of car problems yesterday in practice, looks to have them sorted and looking better here in the bright yellow BMW. Actually got on very well in 360 Motorsports Park in competition a couple of months ago. The Pro 2 rookie, first time competing here. Kieran O'Dwyer, super nice guy. Outside the car, super good driver inside the car, right on the wall there, dials on maybe tiny bit too much angle, which catches him out a little bit on zone 6 there, but tidies it back up and gets back online with a tiny bit of a waiver there across 7, but overall a good attempt there from the Kerry men. And let's see what Kieran can do in terms of scores, and it's a big score. The judges liking that one. It's an 86, which should see him in for battle action, but you know what, we've 80 drivers here and the cutoff has been around 86 before, so let's see how we get on. It's another 350Z leaving the line, Adam.
Absolutely. If I'm sure someone's saying this is ex-Molly Kerr's 350Z, if it's correct what I'm seeing. Unfortunately, a bit of struggles there as it comes over the hill, straightening up. Will lose a few points for that, missing the final zone there and a spin before zone 4. Quite unfortunate there for Kevin Sheedy out on track. He'll have to give it everything in his second qualifying run now.
Very famous former Irish soccer player, Kevin Sheedy, of course. And throwing his hand at the drifting. So basically Kevin Sheedy, of course, well known with the Shanahans, etc. as well. So another man very, very prominent in the scene, throwing his hat in the ring of the driving. Not going so well in the first one there, but we move it along to another man who is looking to do very well. Look at this beautiful BMW with all the stance in the world in the E90 here. It's Jan Reikla.
Absolutely, in his 240 brake, BMW initiates over the hill here, part of the welded gear solid drift team. Unfortunately missing zone 3 there, but initiates back into zone 4, putting him right out to the edge of the track. So he is in a stunning two-tone BMW. First time ever competing as well here. First time running this track in a competitive layout. Bit shy there on zone 6, but makes it work. I'm sure he'll get a score on the board, but will it be enough to see him into battle action later on? Unfortunately missing the last zone there as well for Jan. We're just waiting for his score to come in. The Cork man on his first qualifying run. Another Cork man, just like yourself, Mike.
It is, yeah, and a pure Cork name as well, Jan Reikla. So he gets a 32.7, a very un-Cork score there. We're fairly good at this, so we are, but yeah. Not a great score there from Jan. Hopefully he gets it better. Jack Kelly is leaving the line. Flicks it in, big flick over the hill here from Jack Kelly with the beautiful Japanese-style Liebert. Big JZX 90 Mark II. Look at this. It looks absolutely fantastic out on track. It's like being in the stands at D1, to be honest. Hitting the limiter. JZ Power. Look at this lovely line here from Jack Kelly. All the smoke. This is a pro level run all day long, and look at that from Jack Kelly, using all the lint and all the stability there of the big Toyota in order to fire it in over the hill and get a big score. I'm sure lots of impact from that one. And
Absolutely.
It's a 91.3 for Jack Kelly. First man to break into the 90s, throwing down the gauntlet to the guys who will be coming later on, who are theoretically going to be top of the pile, because we are in reverse championship order. But a 91.3 for Jack Kelly. What a run.
Insane run. I'm sure many of you have seen the Drift Games video of one of their bashes where we've seen the Team Fool guys, a group of lads with their roll cars, the JZXs. That's actually one of them that was out on track. But we're back to the line now. It's Jack Irwin on his first qualifying run of today in his E36.
Junior driver as well.
Absolutely a very young man. Transitions here into zone 4, drag of the handbrake. Not too much tire smoke coming off the back of this car, Mike, so I'd say it's not the highest of powered, only sitting 330 brake. First time competing as well here, but he's making it work. A great run from the junior driver, Jack Irwin. Transitions here into the final zone. A lovely run there by the young man.
Yeah, a lovely run there. The man from Fintona in County Tyrone, 16 years old or younger, of course, and Jack just falling into that class at 16, and an 84.7 in a car that probably shouldn't be doing that for the 16-year-old, and that's a great run. Round of applause there for Jack Irwin as qualifying starts to heat up. Another rookie driver. Adam, you were practicing the pronunciation of this one earlier on, I believe.
I was not, Mike, and I won't be practicing right now. Is Krasjan, if I'm sure someone's saying, but look at the style he has out there on track. A great coloured Sylvia, that blue is very remarkable. Small bit of a sketchy start there to his run. He'll finish off a little stronger and get as much score on the board as he can for himself. And he looks like he's doing a great job of it. As we hear that 490 brake car roar.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I think it's Gracjan Cichilski. I think that's what it is. You
can have that job for the rest of the year, Mike.
I think that's what it is. I'm going to catch him in the pits and ask him later on. But let's see what he scores. And 18 years of age from County Clare. And waiting for the scores to drop in for Gracjan. It's a 74, so a good score there as well for the rookie driver. Now we move it on to a Pro 2 outright driver. It is Glenn McKillen in one of the first S13s. That we're seeing a beautiful Japanese style livery as well on this, the We Buy Car sponsored 180SX, green to yellow to pink, a beautiful looking car, and using all of the horsepower here, and loses what's left of his back bumper off the wall, the cut down black bumper, and a beautiful SR20 noises coming out of that, and a beautiful livery there. So a great run by Glenn McKillen there, the man from Bray. College student still, actually, Adam.
Absolutely, he comes from a bit of a rally background. You can see that by him there as he rallies that SR20 180SX across the track. A great run by him. Looking forward to see what that score
wow.
is. A huge score, topping the scoreboard at the moment. It's 95 for Glenn.
Wow,
McKillen.
Glenn McKillen with 95 this early in qualifying. Unheard of, fantastic stuff there from Glenn McKillen in the 180. So wow. Gavin Skehan, we can't dwell on that 95 because Gavin Skehan, the man from Ballina, County Tipperary, beautiful part of the world, and beautiful entry there from Gavin Skehan. Competed a couple of years ago. He's back in action here in his S13, won via and loses a tire. DB'd a tire. Yes, maybe just had a bit of a dirt drop there, possibly, or running very low pressures. Possibly no need to run that low pressure in qualifying, but DB'ing a tire as Kieran Hines, our head judge, throws up his hands in despair at Gavin there. And we're hearing exhaust tearing along the ground, and there's everything going on there, Adam.
Absolutely. You can see as he drives past his tower here, there's such low pressures in the back of that car. He must have it set up very loose to be running these road tires as grippy as absolutely possible.
Well, there's
so much so the tire came off, Mike.
It came off, exactly. Of course, the competitors do run low pressures in order to gain more grip. There's more tire on the track. Essentially, the tire is running a little bit flat, so the tire is kind of flat at it's only flat at the bottom, Adam, as they say, but lots of tire on the track, and sometimes you can go too far. But I never was a fan of setting up the car super tight for qualifying, but of course you do have to go straight into battles, and you know, some guys want to go in with the datum all set for their battles, but you've got to qualify first.
Absolutely.
Finbar Crowley, you know, battling Matt Darren here for the best beard in Irish drifting, but definitely not the best entry in the funny looking, but a great looking, actually, to be fair, E90 pickup BMW. But Finbar Crowley there with not the best entry in the world. Very distinctive car, guys. What a beautiful build that is. Something very, very different. Looks so cool. Never seen that before in my life, a pickup E90 BMW, and it looks great, to be honest.
It actually looks stunning as well, with matching colours with his teammate and the Welded Gear solid team. I was chatting to this man only yesterday. It's a 325 E91, but he calls it an E94.
It's an E91 chassis, is it originally?
That's what he says
which
here
is the estate one, so he cut the back off the
crazy
estate.
Stuff, and it's a 62.3 for Finbar Crowley out in competition. Up next on the line, coming down over the hill here, is the one and only Owen Foran, Pizza Boy, as many of us know him as, creating great pizzas in the stall, competing for his first time here in that great X Candy Culture 180SX. He initiates back into zone 4 here, getting right out to the edge of tracks and flicks it into 5 up against the wall. Owen form pushing right out to edge, just rubbing it back in the car off the wall. Great one there. Bit shallow towards the end of his own, making loads of noise. Owen form putting on a show for us here in that 1JZ 180.
Yeah, he just wants to qualify each round, it says here in our notes, and he'll see from there. Winning the rookie championship would be pretty sweet, and he says to drive an IDS Pro someday would be his dream, and maybe even win it. But let's see if he is getting towards that goal here with his score. It's a 72.3. It's a good score for the rookie championship. I don't think it's going to be enough to get into Pro 2 action outright, but we move it along. We don't have Derry O'Donovan, but we do have, I do believe, Daniel Gardiner. So Derry Donovan is the graphic on the screen, but I do believe that it's Daniel Gardiner on track, I'm told. So the 358, oh, big angle there, and too much angle. Does he save it? Definitely 2 wheels off track and a huge straight mistake. So big deduction here, I think.
Do not like maybe at a bash or something, that'd be exactly what you'd want to see. He saved it and didn't send it into the gravel pit, but unfortunately here in competitions, that's not what the judges are looking for. So Daniel Gardner, who isn't a gardener, believe it or not, he works in the motor factors in his 350Z stock power. Unfortunately putting a 0 on the board for himself.
Yep, so Daniel Gardner with a 0. As we move it along to Dale McBreen is on the line. And he's not on the line, he's actually after leaving the line here, up through the gears into the initiation point here in the Japfest layout, that famous layout in Mondello Park, down into the big compression at clip 2 and full throttle out to 3 as he switches it back. I was going to say swap, I was going to say switch, I said both.
This debate all year, Mike.
We'll have it all year, exactly. 2 words into 1. Too excited for Dale McBreen, who I'm actually surprised is still a Pro 2 driver. He's very happy in this championship, but he's a pro level driver on his day all day long, and that is a pro car all day long. Lots of horsepower as well, so let's see what Dale McBreen does.
Absolutely 500 brake horsepower. His goal for this year is actually to get a pro license, so hopefully we'll be seeing him in the pro championship next year. Very stylish car as well, part of the Lemon Style Drift team, so I'm sure he'll be putting on a show for us throughout the rest of the year. We're just waiting for the score to drop in here from the judges. But until then, our next driver's up. It's 78.3 for Dan McQueen, but our next driver's on the line. It is Connor Liddy in the MX-5, the little car, trying to give it everything to come over that hill. Quite a shallow angle, but gets it across to get the car right out and lose traction so he can put as much angle on for the judges as comes by the track here. Such a small car compared to what else we're seeing on track today, but he's making it work. Putting it up to the wall here. Bit of a straight in there before the final zone, but Connor Liddy getting it across the line.
As I just lose my hoodie there because it's too hot in the tower. Yeah, it is always difficult to get the MX-5s kind of, consistent. They're a short chassis and they're quite difficult with that double wishbone setup. And a 69.7 there for Connor Liddy, the Pro 2 rookie. So not a huge score, but again, he's in his own championship. As we go to a man who's very experienced in the Pro 2 Championship. It is the Meath man, it's Christy Gerrard in his trusty old Steed Skyline, the R32. The beautiful Japanese chassis locks up all 4 there going into zone 4. Look at this beautiful line now across 5. Christy Gerrard, another man that I'm surprised to see still in Pro 2. He has all the ability to be a pro driver. So he taps the wall there and crosses the line.
Absolutely, Christy Gerrard putting on a show for us here in Mondello Park, doing a bit of a rear bumper and rear light delete there as he came in front of the grandstand in this 550 brake car. 72.3 is the score for Christy Gerrard on the board. We hopefully will be seeing him in battle action later on. He has room to improve on that for his second run, but definitely a strong score to have as of the moment.
Absolutely, so good to see Christy Gerrard going well, and it is Chris McConnell, another Pro 2 rookie on the line. Once again, guys, reverse championship order from last year, so the top guys that remained in the championship from last year, we're looking at you, Peter and Andrew Malloy, and Dylan Wilson, Jake McElveen, Jamie Hines. All those guys will be last to qualify in this run, and we're going to do it all over again then and see what 32 drivers we have remaining. So we are ready to rock with Chris McConnell on the line. Yet another 350Z, the up and coming chassis, still to be picked up for about €8,000, maybe 7, maybe 6 even if you go to the UK, but they are climbing in value because they are a very good beginner car, and yeah, they're becoming a very much wanted commodity. They're a lot of fun as well, to be honest, and nothing goes wrong with them. So climbing in value, get yourself one now. If you want to get into drifting, they're a great way to start.
Absolutely. We see Chris coming over the hill here in a stock-powered 350Z, putting it to his full use, trying to get all the way into zone 3 and flicks it back into zone 4.
Yeah,
Dab of the handbrake there before zone 4, but he fulfills it fairly well, so he does.
You could see the car sitting up there when he dabbed the handbrake, quite softly set up, I would say, this 350, kind of rebounding up on its suspension. But does look to be getting the power down, that's for sure. And yeah, the VQ there doing all the right things. Looks to be quite good power, but it's stock power apparently. So these VQs good for about 280 brake horsepower, give or take, depending if it's a rev up or a HR. So it's a 73.3 for the rookie driver Chris McConnell. So he is kind of in the mid 70s in that group that's starting to form now. Cathal O'Grady, another rookie driver, is on the line in the S14 Zinky, if my eyes don't deceive me. And big wing, love the big wing on a drift car. You have to have it, don't you, Adam? You just have to have it.
Absolutely. Just fun fact about this car as well, Mike. This car is actually the ex-Drift Games car that we see Josh Holsworth competing in Japfest last year here. This time last year in this exact car, but now it's with Cathal O'Grady. The 700 brake RB25 under that bonnet is coming over the hill here. Look at the speed as he initiates into zone 1, flicks it in. The speed coming over the hill here, Mike, is definitely outstanding compared to the rest of the drivers we've seen so far. Back into zone 4, dragging a handbrake, swallowed it too early on the flick. Third zone 4, but back here into 5, he makes it right up against the wall in front of the grandstand, just taps the back of the car off, upsets his line just a small bit, but he corrects himself and gets it all sorted as he gets into the final zone. A great run there from Cathal O'Grady.
Yeah, a great run from Cathal O'Grady there. Maybe a couple of waivers, and I hear the judges discuss it here to our left hand side, but overall a good run. 85.7 there for Cathal O'Grady. Now that is going to be a great score for a rookie driver. The Ballina-Slow-Man wanting to do 4 out of 5 rounds at least this year, he says. Now we should have Brendan Carney on the line, but I'm being told that he did not have his hands device connected, so he will miss his first qualifying run. So very, very important to have all your safety gear rigged up. So Brendan Carney not going to get his first qualifying run. We have to move it along to Liam McGill. So that will be Brendan Carney there leaving the track. Unfortunately, no hands device present, no run. We've seen some accidents here. We've seen drivers go onto their roof here just last year in the form of Justin Murphy, and went on to actually qualify after in his second qualifying run. But very important to have all the safety gear, because obviously, you know, you want to see everybody getting their runs, but you really don't want to see people getting hurt. And you know, Adam, Murphy's Law, it's always the one time when the safety gear wouldn't be there that you'll have the accident. So
absolutely.
Safety first, Brendan Carney sent back to the pits.
Liam McGill coming over the hill here now, Mike. Probably one of the most determined men I've ever seen compete nearly every round last year. He flicks it in the RX-8, a different chassis, the only RX-8 we're seeing in competition this year, using lots of speed, momentum to try to get that car around the track. Not too much angle around zone 4, but he fulfills it very well. A very strong run here, bit too deep offline as he gets into the final outer zone of 6, coming out of it a bit early and gets it across the line. Liam McGill in that BMW powered.
Yeah, turbo BMW power. It's an S50 B32 turbo power in an RX-8, go figure. But the Limerick man there looking very good on entry, actually. Difficult chassis, the RX-8 as well, but I think if he gave it more throttle, more wheel speed around zone 4 there, he should have been like on a way better line, but just got cut out. So
absolutely. We're back to his score, but our next driver is coming over the hill. It's the highest 200 or a Tesla chassis, making its way around the track here. A definitely standout chassis for a lot of the Irish car scene. Very popular on the roads with the young guys. And look at it here out on track, looks insane. And a great run here from Niall Looney, pushing it around the track, getting into every zone. Sounds like Jay-Z power under that bonnet, so it does, Mike.
A standard 1G.
Standard 1G? Standard
1G under the hood, I believe, yeah. Completely bog standard, 150 horsepower 1G under the hood there. Possibly not for Niall Looney, because he got an 80.7 for that, but I'm sure that all the IS200 and Alteza crew will be rooting for him. We move it along very quickly to Tom Hayden, still waiting for Liam McGill's score, but Tom Hayden is on track. We're getting through him thick and fast now. The relatively local to us here, man. In the 180SX, Tom, a very, very promising driver, can blow a little bit hot and cold, but when he's blowing hot, he is blowing hot. He's just from over the road in County Kildare. He's an apprentice engineer and an apprentice drifter as well, and looking good there in the S13 chassis. And if there's a quintessential drift chassis, Adam, it is a 180 SX, isn't it?
Absolutely, a great looking chassis at that as well, and looks outstanding, put together by his family run drift team. Tom Hayden putting a 79 on the board. We're moving on now to our next driver. It's David Richards, Kerry man. We've seen him competing in the Winter Series throughout the off season, but look at him here out on track for his first time in the actual season, going small bit off there around zone 3, pushing it back into zone 4. This man does all the work in his car himself, and he's well used to it. We've seen him plenty of practice days. Dave Richards put right off the back of the wall, getting a bit too deep there, but that's exactly what we want to see.
We see bent bumper bars. That's it, Dave Richards, good buddy of mine as well, the man from County Kerry, back into competition for this year. Like you said, Adam, went very well in the Winter Series and decided to throw his hat in to the Pro2 Championship outright, and it's a 69 for Dave Richards. Judges there seeing a couple of mistakes, so not rewarding him highly, but he's looking good, I think, for the second run there, and he definitely has it in his locker. Now we don't have Martin Tyrrell, so we're on to Paddy Golden on the line, and if I am not mistaken, and if he hasn't changed his build, Paddy Golden has V8 power in that S14.
Absolutely, that S14 looked like a real drift missile as it's up there on the line getting ready to come over the hill. Paddy Golden, 600 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that car. He initiates over the hill here, Mondello. A small bit of a straight and a bit of correction here as well, but he's making it work all the way into zone 3. Pushing right to zone 4. Sounds like he shut it down there, but he didn't. It's just dragging the handbrake to make sure he gets right and deep into that zone. Patrick Golden, when he makes 5, he does, and back up against the wall here. Rubs right off back against the wall. A lot of drivers doing it. It's great to see. Patrick Golden flicks back in for the final zone, hitting it off the limiter. Sounds insane. The Mayo man putting out a great run for his first one.
Yeah, that cross-plane V8 sound, I think it's supercharged as well if you listen for it. So fantastic stuff there from Paddy Golden. It's an 83.7 for Paddy, which might see him in battle action, but I think the cut-off point is going to be mid-80s by the look of it. Now we have Stefan Wills on the line, back to the S13 after just seeing an S14 on track. It's Sylvia after Sylvia. Lovely entry there from Stefan. Flicks it in over the hill, but gets all caught out then at zone 2. Once again, the car's really hunkered down at the back, grip up, and if you don't keep the throttle wide open pin through there, or if you just catch a bit too much grip, it's very easy for them to just grip up and push the front. And clips the wall then. Looked like he did it possibly on purpose. I think he knew that he was that close and said, maybe let's just give the judges something to look at here and get a bigger score on the board. Stefan Wills looking absolutely delighted on his profile pic there on our live stream. And once again, guys, if you're in the crowd, feel free to log on and have a look at the YouTube, and you can catch all the replays and see the scores coming in. And it is a 62.7 score for Stefan Wills.
Absolutely a great looking car, man. We saw last year, I'm sure we've seen plenty more of this year. But up next on the line is Ronan McGrath, another driver we saw plenty of last year. Lots of talent in his BMW chassis.
If you want to hear that through the live stream there, that is James Dean after snapping me and making his car sing songs. So James there having fun at home in one of his cars. I'm not sure which one because it was just the dash, but yeah, James showed me his calendar for the year there the other night, and I don't envy him. I think the man sees more. He sees more planes, I think, than he sees hot dinners, that man. But yeah, what a boy he is. Not having the greatest first round, of course, in Long Beach there in the top 16. But the Shanahans more than made up for it with a first and a third there, also with a crazy run up to that event. And all their cars, of course, loaded up and gone off in the ferry for DMEC in Italy. Just last night, all the ferries departed. Drift Games, Supra finished at Group D there, and young Falvey's car gone as well. The Shanahans, James's, Harry Kerr, of course. And you know, we're seeing Dylan Garvey back in competition here tomorrow. He did Drift Masters. He's back during Irish competition now tomorrow, and he's going to be hugely the favourite. I think he's going to be really one to watch anyway. So the plethora of talent that we have in this country is fantastic. But yeah, all the European guys ready to rock for next weekend in Rome, and be sure to catch that one, guys, as well on Red Bull TV. As we move it along to Ronan McGrath in the BMW with 1 JZ power. Don't have to look at the notes for this one. I know this car very well. He's competing out while the man from Cratloe in County Clare. Let's see if he can do something here. A little bit of an adjustment, big flick in over the hill, but a bit of an adjustment on the wheel there just to try to get the car into 2. Didn't quite work out perfectly for him, but all the aggression points definitely flicked it in really nicely. Now, does he get back online? He does pretty much here at him.
Absolutely running grab, pushing right out to the edge there of zone 6 and flicks it in for the final zone. You can hear that Jay-Z roars across the line. 500 brake underneath the bonnet of that car. Ronan McGrath, we've seen him out on track lots of last year, so plenty of experience competing here as well last year. So we're waiting for the judges' score to drop in, and it's a 74.7 for Ronan McGrath. Seeing him safe enough at the moment, Mike, but we've seen these scores already. We've already have some scores in the 95 area, so I'm sure he'll have to improve on that.
Absolutely.
Definitely getting competing.
We have lost our qualifying score screen there for this qualifying session, but I can tell you that Glyn McKillen from our own notes here is still leading on a 95. So Jason Gallagher is now leading us into clip 2. Lovely angle. Look at that beautiful entry. Just about picks up 3 and gets the car turned with a big long handbrake drag in order to get himself slowed for 4. The judges will mark him down. They just want to see minimal handbrake use for the style points here. And we will be running over the line a little bit more in depth before pro competition tomorrow. Transition quite early there as well, Jason off the wall, and maybe just got himself in a tiny bit wrong position for the last clip there, number 7. But overall, I think he's going to be rewarded well for his entry.
Absolutely, we know this car very well. It's actually Eddie Power in the Towers XO car with just a bit of a livery on it.
Well, it's Adam in the Tower now.
It's Adam in the Tower. Doesn't
It's-
really
there's
rhyme,
none
doesn't have
already.
the same ring to it.
Exactly. Adam.
We'll wait for his score afterwards, but next up
It's a
on the line,
76.7 it was for Jason Gallagher, the rookie driver. So
Daniel Gerard is out there now, making his way all the way into zone 3. A bit of a slowdown there before zone 4, a bit of correction, looking so well up until then, but the second half of this one looking like it's going to be strong flicks, and then a small bit shallow straight, and then before zone 6, I'd say he's having a small bit of carriage.
Yeah.
Shuts it down there before the line. It's looking so great.
yeah, shuts it down. Did seem to have boost there as he just left the track, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. Did he pull an extra gear, or did he miss-shift maybe? Was he changing up? I don't know. Not really pointing the track where you would change up, to be honest, but it's going to be a 0 anyway for Daniel Gerard there, but not sure exactly what happened. Saoirse Lee Barrett should be on the line, having clutch issues in practice yesterday. That is sorted. Now flicks in the 180SX, our first female competitor to go through the Pro 2 class here with RB25 power. Doing a good job here. Not a perfect entry for Saoirse, but definitely doing a better job for the second part of the lap. Not a perfect practice session yesterday. This 180SX still having a lot of problems ironed out of it as she moves on from her BMW chassis, comes away from the wall, and just shuts it down. She was looking good there for a score, the Pro 2 rookie driver, but just shuts it down, unfortunately, and looks to be after losing a lot of drive there. Really want to watch for the future. I think she's
absolutely
quite possibly, I think, along with Adrienne Wheatley, the most promising female driver we've seen ever come through the ranks in this country. Adrienne, of course, is a pro driver already, and a well capable one at that, so I think Saoirse might be a huge one for the future, but it's a 0 unfortunately for her, as we see in the burnout box now warming his rear tyres and hopefully warming his front tyres as well, and scrubbing them off is Dean Dillon. Very important to scrub off the marbles you pick up off the front tyres as well, to understeer the car through the burnout box and get some heat into those tyres as well, because you can catch quite a lot of understeer at zone 2 there as the front of the car wheelies and goes light. You only have one tyre on the track quite a lot of the time, and you need that one tyre to be really gripping for you. So Dean Dillon there doing his warming, and let's see what he can do in his S14.
Absolutely, Dean Dillon drifting over the last 6 years in and out of competition in his S14 SR20 powered 420 brake, getting it right there and using the momentum to get into zone 3 and flicks it right back into zone 4 on the left foot brake, putting as much angle on. Second half of this run is looking great. A smoke machine. Dean Dillon put it right out to the edge of zone 6. Oh, unfortunately, there's a bit too much angle there, spinning it, putting a 0 for himself. It looks so promising. He'll definitely have to hold back a bit on the wildness, I'd say, for his second qualifying run. But I'm sure we'll be seeing him later. He's great talent.
Yeah, that's 3 zeros in a row there, so that is 3 zeros for sure. Hopefully we'll get a score on the board now for Edgar Linus, who is a Pro 2 rookie driver as well. Once again, these lads are in their own championship, so we'll be going hammer and tongs in qualifying in order to get that podium later on.
Absolutely. Fun fact about Edgar Linus, not to call a man out, but our oldest driver actually in the series this year as well, but a great character. Always very nice to everyone. 500 brake horsepower, Jay-Z, 2 Jay-Z underneath the bonnet of that now becoming very popular chassis, the 350Z. And here it goes, Edgar Linus coming over the hill here in Mondello for his first qualifying run of round 1. Edgar Linus initiates, put as much angle on as he can. You hear that JC using every bit of momentum. Unfortunately not getting right into zone 3, but using the handbrake to get position himself into zone 4, get right out on the edge as he feathers with the throttle. You hear that turbo fluttering back at us. Edgar Linus, bit of a sketchy one there around last second half of that, but put a score on the board for himself.
Yeah, Edgar Linus, you need full commitment in over 1, 2 and 3. It doesn't work otherwise. You have to come into it thinking that you're going to hit the wall basically through the crest there, or else it doesn't work. It has to be absolute seat of your pants stuff, and if you come into it full commitment, it does work quite well. So was it a 56 for Edgar?
58 for
58,
Edgar
sorry. So 58 for Edgar Linus. Not a great score for him, but he is a rookie driver, so will be in his own championship. Now we move it along to, I do believe it is Kat Darren on track. That is definitely Katja Darren's car, wife, of course, of the bearded Matt Darren. A tiny bit of a straighten there for Katja as she makes her way into outer zone 4. Won't be marked on massively by the judges. Our second female competitor, of course, as well, with supercharged V8 power under the hood man of this E30 BMW. So Matt Darren doing a fantastic job with the build of this car. I think this car is using that 8 HP gearbox as well, which is the BMW 8-speed automatic, which is becoming quite popular. You can run a clutch with it as well, so an interesting one there. You can use paddle shift with that. So Katja there with a 75.7. She'll be happy with that.
Great
so
score 75 for her first run as well for Kat Darren.
Yeah, good score for her first one. She'll be happy with that. Our second female competitor, now a man after pretty much rebuilding his car as well for this year. It is the Galway man. It is Shane Ward, another man who has been around the scene with a long time, trying his hand in the driver's seat with a couple of years now, and you know, was involved in a lot of media back in the day, and his 2026 goals are to do a full season, be as competitive as possible, trying to push harder. So more used to the A86 chassis, but coming into a Sylvia now, Shane Ward flicks it in through zone 1. Not a lot of angle here, and he's going to have to dial on a lot more.
Absolutely looking like he doesn't have too much grip in them front tyres. Not the exact line the judges want to see, but he flicks down. Oh, unfortunately into the gravel trap for Shane Ward. Really looking like he has that car gripped up to the max in the rear, Mike, as he was coming over the hill there with lots of speed, but unfortunately just not getting that back end to flick out and get into the zones.
Yeah, he's doing a good job here getting it out though, I think, as he reverses over the cone there, just about missed it. Well, fair play to Shane Ward, guys. That's the biggest round of applause of the day so far, because he didn't get it bogged. No need for recovery there. Might have brought a couple of stones out onto the track, so we'll have a look at that. But Shane Ward managing to get his Sylvia out of the gravel trap without the need of slowing down the whole show and recovery. But it's going to be a 0 for Shane, and still a rookie driver because he has not qualified for competition in the top 32 yet. As we move it along to a very young promising driver, another Kerry man actually, it is Jack Mulvihill in his new beautiful Sylvia, coming up from a 350Z. His dad there, Jim, pumping in the work and money into this build over the winter there, and Josh Boyd there and the guys in Kerry Stainless Fabrication coming on board as well and helping to make this possible. But just look at this car, guys. The 350 was a beautiful car, but watch the livery on this Sylvia. It is such a good looking car, and he is such a talented young driver. Let's see what the young Kerry man can do as he comes over the hill here in Mondello Park, losing bodywork on the way. He flicks it in. Big flick from Jack Mulvihill. That's what the judges want to see. Fills up 1, 2 and 3 with max angle, holds the handbrake to get him settled in forward. You know what? It worked. He's right on that outside line. Now can he get it rotated? Nice early transition. Just fills the outside of the zone, touches the wall. This is going to be the best score today, guys, if he holds it together. Look at this perfect transition and full throttle, and maybe just, if we're being really technical, could have been a foot further out on the left, but I think that is a fantastic lap.
Don't be nitpicking, Mike. What an absolute run for Jack Mulvihill. Topping qualifying so far. It's a 96. Mondello, give him a round of applause. An insane run there by our rookie driver, Jack Mulvihill.
Yeah,
plenty
what a run.
out on track. We've seen him tandeming with James D and stuff down 360 Motorsport in practice
Adam,
days. And
this is his first competition in this car.
Insane, absolutely wild.
Wild, absolutely wild stuff. Flicked it in over the hill like he's doing it with 15 years. Full angle, full throttle, full commitment. Just what we said a couple of runs ago. That's what you need to do here in Mondello, because if you can't really see it on the live stream, but the track drops down so much into zone 2 that if you don't come in with full commitment, the back of the car just grips up and absolutely ruins your run. It takes you shallow from 3. It makes the front understeer. You're adjusting, you're in trouble, you're dabbing the handbrake, you're pulling all the levers, pressing all the buttons, trying to get it to work. But you know what? The only way to do it is come in, make yourself think you're in a crash, and then the next thing you're on the outside of zone 3 perfectly well, and that's exactly what Jack Mulvihill did.
Absolutely, he's been practicing for sure. I'm sure he spent lots of time in simulator, but our attention is straight back to the start line. It's David Flaherty, the 31-year-old man, is 550 brake. BMW E46, very stylish livery. The PFM sponsorship on the side of it, trying to use momentum, get into 3, but unfortunately not working out for him. Back into 4, trying to fill the zone as much as he can. David Flaherty feathering that throttle as he comes by the judge tower here in Mondello. Great driving to the second half of his run there. Dave Flaherty, the Galway man, electrician. He's goals for this year to compete in the full championship. Hopefully that works out for him and finish in the top 20. And with a score like 63.7, he has a bit of room to work with.
Yeah, stock with a turbo, obviously, but a stock M54 BMW engine. A brave man there is Dave Flaherty, 63.7 there. You know what? He's running a dangerous line there, I think, with that stock engine and with a turbo on it. But look, it seems to be working. So we move it along to another Galway man. It is a man who we are no strangers to. It is Fordy, the owner of Fordy Autos. It is David Ford with the light bar in the front of his also ex-Adrian Wheatley, I would say, R32 Skyline. Beautiful livery on this car as well, self-sponsored, and SD Aero on that as well there, and looking good here with all the V8 power. One you said with literally a €300 turbo, basically Chinese turbo on this car, and you know what? It does the job perfectly well.
Absolutely, it's definitely doing the job out there on track as he pushed it around, getting into every zone, exactly how the judges want to see it. 540 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that car. So plenty enough to get around the track to wait for his score to drop in. It's an 89 for David Ford, a very strong score, nearly touching the 90s. I'm sure we'll be seeing him into battle action later on with that, so that'll take a bit of pressure off before his next qualifying run. And next up online after David Ford, we should be looking at Niall McInerney, the 25-year-old man from County Clare. 440 brake underneath the bonnet of his car. Character we've seen drifting all throughout the Pro2 championship last year. So I'm sure he'll put that experience to use for himself today out on track.
Absolutely, as I put my headset back on, and once again guys, sorry, we have lost the monitor here, so we can't see the live qualifying scores, but we will bring them to you as they are being called out to us, as we have now Niall McInerney, the Clare man, out on track here in his trusty BMW, brother of course of Jason McInerney, who has made his way into the Pro class recently after winning the Rookie Championship. That is a really nice run there from Niall McInerney. Did a lot of improvements to the car in the off-season, a lot of suspension work to that car, getting it dialed in, and looks a lot more comfortable in it, Adam.
Absolutely, a full new engine package going into a fresh one since last year, now having 440 brake. An unbelievable run there by Niall McInerney. A 76 on the board, a safe score, but will it be enough to see him in battle action later on? Because these scores are getting higher and higher, so it'll be interesting to see. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So Francis Hines, another man from the West, as we say, where I'm from, on the line here, the Galway man, making his way into this championship as well, stamping his authority a couple of times now recently as he hits the limiter. Listen to this absolute clattering of limiter with the SR20 power there from Francis Hines. Just sit it there at 7,000 and let it there for a while, man. The Sil80, what a fantastic looking car as well. I love me a Sil80. And Francie Hines in the Candy Culture era, beautiful looking car as well. The Candy Culture guys really knowing how to make these drift cars look good. And yeah, Francie Hines looking good himself, looking very happy as well in his profile pic, always looks good.
As always, and he'll definitely be happy now with a great score of 83.7 for Francie Hines.
So a lot of scores in that mid-80s already, guys, because, I mean, you know, you're going to want to be slightly above that, I think, but the drop zone might be possibly, looking at the way it's shaping up, it might be high 70s. So
I wonder did Francie get some extra points there for the limiter bashing for you?
He might have. I would have given it to him.
Absolutely. It's Alan Conti coming over the hill here, looking very happy in his photo there, ready for Ibiza, a bit of summer holidays. Also part of the 11-0 team. Alan Conti, we've seen throughout last year, a great driver, and you can see that here on track. He gets into 5 and back into 6 in front of the grandstand here off the wall. Lots of smoke coming off the back of that car. A great character in the pits and a great driver out on track.
If you're here in Mondello and not watching on live stream, just log on to YouTube there for a second and see this guy's profile pic. The live stream will be 15 seconds back or so anyway, so just look at this guy. He looks like he's just literally back from a Kevin and Perry Go Large video shoot. So yeah, Alan Connaughton looking good there. 74.7 for Alan. Ready to rock and get on that plane to Ibiza, and we move it along. It is another Pro 2 outright driver. It is Stuart Gordon, as we are in reverse championship order. We're getting into the thick of it now, guys. Flick to the right, flick back to the left for Stuart as he fires the R32 with the big wing in over the hill here, nicely back into zone 4 now, right on the outside of the track. Is he too far on the outside? Oh, he did have to kind of adjust there and come back in a little bit there. The man from Port Glenone, if I pronounce that right.
Absolutely, some corrections there in zone 4 about halfway through. Maybe going to swab it deep and trying to correct himself and trying to make sure the rest of his run is as high scoring as possible.
Yeah, forged RB25 power there, 480 brake horsepower for Stuart Gordon, the Northern Irishman, 40 years old, born in 86, and a score of 68.3. So 68.3 there for Stuart. Now we move it along to the beautiful yellow 180SX of Kieran Lynch, the Cork man. You'll definitely know Kieran is from Cork if you talk to him anyway, because he has the most quintessential Cork accent you've ever heard in your life. An absolute character in and out of the car, and you know what, he's improving season on season. He's getting better and better as he has his lights on here to see his way around the track, and he fires in the beautiful yellow 180SX here, self-sponsored Lynch scaffolding. So Kieran absolutely flat out there every day that you're speaking with him on the scaffolds here, and looking very, very good here. Slightly bigger turbo setup on the SR of this car in recent times, and look at this. Just gets a little bit shallow there from the end of zone 6, and maybe could have just had a bit more commitment across the line, but you know what, looking pretty good overall there. Apart from zone 6 was Kieran Lynch, might be enough to get him in the show. And speaking of SR20s, I was just talking to Owen Magner down the pits. We'll see him tomorrow. His SR made 730 brake horsepower. Kieran Lynch scores an 85.7. So that is a good score from the Cork man. Now Mattis Karaitis is leaving the line, and he's flicking it in right over the hill here in his BMW. Look at this beautiful line as well from Mattis. Becoming a very, very experienced competitor as well. We saw him in a couple of rounds last year, look very, very good. So I think he has it in his locker on the given day as well to take an event win even, to be honest. And the E46 here with the back end of it already damaged from practice here. Sponsored by Eco Home there on the door, and looking very, very good. Does he? I think he might have left foot braked it even over the line there a bit, just to maintain his stability and maintain his line. And the judges will be looking at that and giving him an 83.7, so another one into that kind of low to mid 80s scores. It's going to be tight there, but I think it should be enough for battle action as we move it along to the man with all the power in the universe. He might even change the rotation of the earth. It is Nathan Corcoran in a 2JZ powered E46 BMW in a Pro 2 car with 800 brake horsepower. That is right, 800 brake horsepower in a Pro 2 car. Can he use it, Adam?
He sure can, Mike. We've seen that all last year. We're seeing that right here. Look at the smoke coming out of the back of that car as he burns rubber, rubbing the back end of it off the wall in front of the grandstand. Nathan Corcoran getting it in across the line. An absolutely insane run. This car sounds insane. 800 brake horsepower, and he's using every single one of them ponies
and
to get him around the track.
Poured his absolute heart and soul into this car, has Nathan, and you know, we wish him the best, that's for sure. And it is a 79.3 for Nathan, which should possibly, I think, see him safe for battle action, but we'll have to see according as the second runs come in. They should be higher scores theoretically, at least in the second run of qualifying. As we make our way up through the field now, it is Ryan Nally in his S chassis on the line. I know we were sending Ryan a lot of parts out from Group D there, and there was a lot of last minute stuff going on, but it looks like he got it all together in time, and he is on the line here ready to rock. The 22-year-old with 530 brake horsepower, making the relatively short trip from Westmeath here to Mondello Park as we watch his entry here. Beautiful flick in over the hill, but it grips up again. He flicked it very hard, but she seemed to just dig in on the left hand side there and lost the angle again. But let's see what he can do here now around zone 4. And it's looking better here, definitely. Clutch kicking the absolute life out of it, despite the 530 brake horsepower on road tyres. Ryan Nelly going very, very well over the second half of that lap there. John will be looking on from the stands there, his dad looking very pleased, I'm sure. And it's the 84 for Ryan Nelly, which should see him safe for battle action, we would say as well later on. Now, Callum Coogan is on the line, the Pro 2 driver. He's leaving the line, in fact, and that looks like the ex-Stephen Halferty car, or possibly the still Stephen Halferty car.
It sure does. I was getting a bit confused there. I thought it was Stephen put over the line, but it's not. It is the man himself initiating here. Get back into zone 4, pushing right out to the edge.
Yeah, Callum Coogan usually in his own E36, of course, but I can't keep up with these lads. Between Aaron Breen there and Callum Coogan and Stephen Halferty, they're always swapping cars. Aaron Breen is usually driving everyone else's car, but they're all great drivers, and all they're such safe pairs of hands, and they all stick with the BMW. Stephen Halferty, the only one so far opting to go with JZ power, but Callum Coogan putting that to good use there as we wait for his score to drop in. And we don't see his score dropping in there on the live stream, and our monitor is down here for the qualifying score, so we'll try to bring that to you ASAP, guys. I'll put a question mark alongside that one on my notes, and we'll move it along to Gar Collins, who has swapped his E46 actually for Nissan S chassis V8 power this year. So a brand new chassis here for Gar Collins. Did a pretty much straight swap, I believe, for this car from his 2JZ E46, which was an absolute beast of a car, but preferring the S chassis and looking very, very good in it. Remember, Gar Collins is very much wreckers or checkers. He is absolute aggression personified behind the wheel, and he's looking very good here, very comfortable straight away. And I think, Adam, he's a very, very talented driver, and I think, you know, if you get him into the right chassis and the right frame of mind, I think he's just got that consistency that could get him an event win, and he gets an 83.3 for his efforts.
Absolute great score for Garrett Collins. We're used to seeing him in his black E46, but he swapped it out for the 180, and you can see it's not a mistake by him because he's looking great in it.
Just to go back to Callum Coogan's score there, Adam, sorry to cut across you, it is an 80.7 for Callum Coogan on that last run. 80.7. So Stefan Mooney is now entering the track. Let's see what he can do in his S14. Full throttle there, the rear tyres working against physics there, trying to keep the car on track, and they very much did so. Lovely line there from Stefan Mooney so far.
Stefan Mooney, a driver we saw throughout all last year, progressing throughout each round. He's really progressing right now, so he is filling Mondello Park with a lot of smoke. 620 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that car. So there's Mike, only 17 years old, probably one of the youngest drivers we have.
Yeah, the County Down man, County Down boy almost legally still, to be honest. So Stefan Mooney seems to be around a while now and a very talented driver, but 17 years of age as we wait for his score to drop in. And we have another Northern Irishman on the line. It's an 87.7 for Stefan Mooney, so that'll put him right up there. Once again, we don't have the live scores for this round. We might get it done for the second one, but we have to move it along. It is Clark Hatton, the young man just north of Belfast, in his beautiful 2 Series BMW with JZ power, and the fam will be looking on with a lot of interest on this one as he makes his way through for tiny adjustment as he got into for nothing major though. Nice angle, lots of angle in fact through the transition. Makes his way into number 6 and fills up pretty much all that outer zone. The judge is saying that it is okay to come away from the wall that little tiny bit early if you need to transition, and crossing the line there as he picks up number 7.
A great run by the young Clark Canton, a driver that we've seen abroad running in the FD Pro Spec, and you can see all of the experience of driving is coming to use. It's a 92 for Clark Canton, definitely setting him up high in the top 5, I'd say, maybe top 10 on the championship board, or the qualifying board so far. This 16 years old, Mike, absolutely insane, 700 brake horsepower, and he's well able to handle it. After Clark Canton on track, we have lining up at the top of the hill here is, as I look through our sheet, it's Andrew Canna, the man running ECU Master here in Ireland, one of last year's sponsors, in his unique JZ powered Altezza chassis.
Yeah, always a good car to understeer around zone 2 when they're coming in hard over the hill here. They're a difficult chassis to get through to. Let's see if it works for Andrew Kinnan. No such, well, yeah, maybe just a little bit of a correction there from Andrew. Yeah, not sure if that was the chassis or if it was just that he entered a little bit early, but once again a guy who is around the drift scene with 20 years at this stage, and he has all the horsepowers, and the owner of DRT Automotive there, where Lloyd Patterson does all his mapping there with all the famous cars you see now, all the top guys going to Lloyd and Andrew there in DRT to get the mapping done. And let's see what he can do. Big adjustment there, number 2, but apart from that, good aggression.
Absolutely, and the score does come in. It's a 78.3 for Andrew Canna with that 700 brake Altezza chassis. Up next, it's another Kerryman on the line warming up his tyres. The driver that we saw throughout last year looking insane.
How many Kerry drivers have we had? And we've a Kerry commentator now.
There's a bus of us that came up. Just boys.
You're like coming up for the All Ireland to Croke Park. That's what you're like, with your ham sandwiches.
Hang I'm actually a Limerick man. But anyways, back to this Kerry man.
But
it's Colin O'Sullivan.
You're an adopted Kerry man.
Just about. Colin O'Sullivan flicks it in over the hill. A very talented young driver into 2 and getting all the way out into 3. Warming up them back tyres, releasing loads of smoke all the way through 4, getting nice and deep. Exactly what the judges want to see. Would he make it in the 5, Mike? He does. Using his 500 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that car. Great, a very clean run by Colin O'Sullivan. A hard charger we've seen in battles before. Look at that from him. First run of today, looking insane.
I like that there. He feathered the throttle as well. You could hear his throttle inputs. He was out of revs. His gearing might be tiniest bit low, and he actually used the throttle there to get himself to the outside of the zone. So really nice driving style there from Colin. 87 for him then. So another driver dropping into the kind of mid-high 80s there. It's going to be tight in the middle. So let's see what we can do here.
87 for him,
in terms of finding the scores. And Conor Duggan of CDM Sport is leaving the line in his extremely loud V8 BMW.
Absolutely, I was talking to this man throughout yesterday, saying he had lots of car troubles last year, but he's got him sorted for this year. He's making his way right out to the edge of zone 4, creating loads of smoke. You can hear that V8 roar, probably one of the loudest cars on the grid, up against the wall here. The CDM Sport E46 pushing right out to the edge of zone 6 and transitioned in for zone 7. A great run from Conor Duggan. As I was saying, he had a few car issues last year. It's a V8, should be running on all 8 cylinders. Sometimes last year only running on 5, and when he thought it was at his best, it was only running on 7. But this year it's on a full 8, and he's making full advantage of it. It's an 86.7 for Conor Duggan. We're moving on to our next driver on the line. Is Bartek Blazowski of Drift Mafia, one of our sponsors of this year, coming over the hill. A very talented young driver. Not the most powerful car on the grid, but he's very talented in using every bit of that 340 brakes. He gets through zone 4, putting right out to the edge. Look at this from young Bartek, only 18 years of age.
Yeah, one of the most talented drivers, I think, coming up through the series. Son, of course, of the famous Maciek Blazewski, and I think he's looking very, very good. He very much impressed us. I think it was
every round last year.
Every round. I think it was Bishop's Court, especially, if I remember correctly. I stand to be corrected on that, but I remember one round last year that he was looking so good on. And guys, thank you as well for coming out, everybody here in Mondello, enjoying the sunshine, coming out for Pro 2 action. It's great to see such a good crowd here for Pro 2 action. Of course, we'll be absolutely mobbed here tomorrow as usual for Japfest, but great to see such a crowd for Pro 2 action here, watching it live, and thank you for coming out to support IDS. And it is an 87 for Bartek.
Absolutely.
As Justin Murphy rolled here this time last year. Hopefully he stays on all fours this year, looking a bit better.
He's cutting it a bit there, Mike. He saw where he made a mistake last year, but he's making it work now. A great run, loads of angle. Look at this, Justin Murphy not holding back one bit, no fearing and pushing into every zone. Loads of smoke, 1650 brake horsepower underneath the bottom of that E36. Loads of angle. I don't know what kit he has on. I presume some Wise Fab or something, but he's set up that car amazing, and he looks amazing driving it.
Yeah, he does indeed, and he does actually go home for a cup of tea in between qualifying runs. He lives literally across the road, so
handy out.
Goes home for a cup of tea, a couple of buns or whatever.
He can go home and celebrate now because it's
he's in the show. It's an 88. He can
absolutely insane.
Yeah, so Jaffa Cakes, whatever.
He might just come out and roll on the second qualifying run just for the crack.
Put on a show.
Yeah.
Now Marcus Heinen from Ballincollig in Cork is on the line. A redone car for this year. Moved up to the Silvia from his BMW last season. Used it as a testing year. Now this is his time. Marcus Heinen, young Marcus Heinen, has an adjustment there at 2. Flicks it in a tiny bit early. Just initiates maybe 20-30 feet too early, but does get back online here. Looking very, very good in his S13. The Village Tyres, self-sponsored by his dad, also Marcus Heinen. And looking good for the second half of this lap. Looking very, very controlled. Very talented young driver coming up through the ranks as well. Young Cork man with the GD sponsorship there on the quarter. We just saw on the live stream, and across the line for young Marcus Heinen. And let's see what he can do. Just that entry caught him out, but I think overall it was quite a good banker lap.
Absolutely around drifting for the last 8 years, going to his first event when he was only 15 and really catching the bug for it, and ever since then trying to perfect it, and he puts down a score on the board. It's a 76.7 for Marcus Heinen. But we move on to our next driver up on the line, a very stylish kit on this BMW E46. It's Ericus Naviskos, part of the Ego driven teams. He initiates over the hill here into 2 and into 3, flicks it back into 4. Ericus Naviskos pushing it right out to the edge, maybe nearly just about dropping it.
You could tell that he was just hanging on there. I know the feeling. You're going off, but you just hold it. He's right on the wall here as well. Ericus comes away slightly early, like most people are doing, from zone 6 and across the line in 7. And as you say, Adam, very good looking BMW. Ericus always turns out that car, and I think he actually got his hair done as well for the profile pic, if you look on the YouTube.
I'd say so.
Yeah,
I saw the makeup lady up there, and she was touching him up.
Well,
there's no need to touch up his score anyways, because it's great. It's 84 for Ericus Naviskos on the line. Anyways, we're going back. It's young man that I was speaking about earlier on, Jamie Hines, in that S15. Initiates over the hill here. Look at this, Mike. Yeah,
we're in the thick of it now. It's reverse championship order. We're into the top 5 now with young Jamie Hines, the young man from Galway here. Tommy and the fam will be looking on at this one very, very intently, I'm sure. One for the future as well here. Jamie Hines looking like a star of the future, potentially looking like a star of the present right now as he runs the wall here. Beautiful line there through the second half of the course and crosses the line full throttle there in his JZ powered S14. Very distinctive car as well, that orange livery. And Jamie Hines, maybe not a perfect lap, but I think a very good banker, and so it is. It's an 88 from the judges for young Jamie Hines, 88. And that should see him good for battle action, and he starts his championship right here, right now. As we move it along to a man down from the north, it is Jake McElveen. And Jake McElveen going into the 180SX for this year. And let's see what he can do. It's all new to him, but let's see if he is comfortable in it after practicing. Fires it in, maintains that angle as he crosses zone 1, picks up 2 and 3 pretty much perfectly. Now nice and careful into zone 4, because that is the danger zone where you can slip off the track so easily. Now moves it back again through 5, feathers the throttle, shallows up his angle as he gets into 6 off the wall, just to maintain the line but not hit the wall. And beautiful line through 7. Now I think if you're once again to nitpick, he could have just flicked it onto the wall a little bit better. I think he realized he was maybe going into the wall a bit much and backed out, but overall, Adam, it's a great score. Absolutely insane score. It's an 86.3 for young Jake McElveen, another one of our very young drivers. Last year competing at 17 years of age, now 18. Absolutely insane. We're going back to the line anyways. It's another driver on the line, driver that stood out last year. It's Dylan Wilson. Dylan Wilson. And literally was king of the corner on stage, which you think we're joking about, but it is actually true. So he's the king of Mondello Park right now, Mike. You see him with loads of speed, getting through 3 and out into 4. Insane stuff. This is definitely a picturesque moment, because that car looks insane. Initiates back into zone 6, get right out to the edge of it. Unbelievable run here from Dylan Wilson. That car looks, sounds
and drives insane from the looks of things, Mike.
Yeah, looks great. The Derryman there hitting the limiter with the JZ. He's living the dream, he said, and he was actually offered a pro license last year but declined it because he wants to stay in Pro 2 to learn the car more and maybe stamp his authority on the championship. So
very smart move, very smart move.
And you know what? He's in the 90s. It's a 90.7 for Dylan Wilson. So we are in reverse championship order. The big scores are coming, and it's just the 2 Malays left before we head back to the start again. The men from County Down, just over the road from Bishop, scored actually, and a lovely typical Peter Malloy entry there in this beautiful BMW of his. The E46 looks like it could come down the road at you, and you might think there's an M3 coming down the road, but it is a drift car, very much, very controlled, typical Malloy fashion, and full throttle, and they always make those cars look like they have so much more horsepower. 340 horsepower M3 power there with the S54, and they look like they're 500 for all the world.
Absolutely, them two brothers know how to drive their car, entirely self-funded, and they never really seek the sponsorship. He puts down a great run for himself. It's an 84 for Peter Malloy, showing why he's sitting so high in last year's championship. But up next is my favourite looking car out on the grid, is the E36, driven by the brother Andrew Malloy. And look at this, over the hill, only 330 brake underneath the bonnet of that car, gets it in the tree, flicks it back into the four. These two brothers are so precise on how they drive, and you can see here on the stream, Andrew Malloy is right to the edge of zone 4 as he comes back up against the wall here in front of the tower. Andrew Malloy putting that BMW everywhere the judges want to see, across the line, an insane run. Mondello, give a round of applause for the two Malloy brothers putting on a show for us here today.
Yeah, the two Malloys are the highest placing drivers now left in this championship from last year's order. So it's an 88 from Andrew Malloy. So both Malloys getting in the 80s, 84 for Peter and 88 for Andrew. Not quite breaking into the 90s, but after the first round of qualifying, guys, we can say that is Glenn McKillen from early in qualifying is topping. So a great score of 95 from him. No, sorry, it is Jack Mulvihill who beat him on a 96. My bad. We don't have a screen here in front of us. So Jack Mulvihill from Kerry will be, oh, we have it here now on screen, yes. Jack Mulvihill, Glenn McKillen in with a 95, Clark Hatton with a 92 at third, Jack Kelly in the big Toyota is fourth, and Dylan Wilson, who we just saw, is in fifth. So we go back to the start, guys. We're going to do it all over again. Darren Galvin, the man from Clorglen in Kerry, not getting it together in the first one. A 52 was all Darren managed, but let's see what he can do in this one, Adam.
Absolutely, a 52. Will he have room to improve? Not too sure. A bit of missing there on zone 3. Not the most powerful car, only 260 brake, and it looks like it's struggling in that modern BMW chassis out there as he initiates pull of the handbrake before zone 6. Not too much angle here. DG always written across the side of that car. Lovely cage put into recently enough. I'm not too sure there'll be an improvement on his run, but he's definitely getting experience for himself. I'm sure we'll see loads more of him throughout the year.
Well, he rang me in Group D on Monday and he said, "Do you have fire extinguishers in stock? I'm after deciding to do the weekend at Japfest." And I was like, "Not a bother, Sham. Here you go." So that was Darren Galvin's build up to Japfest was deciding on the Monday. So 55.3 for Darren Galvin. Won't be enough to qualify, but he is a rookie. Will score points in his own championship, so worth staying in. Now, we didn't have Sam the last one, so it is straight to Alex Williams, who had an 87.7 on his first run, so he's already safe for battle action, the Pro 2 driver.
Absolutely, the Pro 2 driver at 600 brake horsepower, unbelievable looking car with that kind of electric pink to black livery. Look at this, right out to the edge of zone 4 and transitions into 5, just flattering it off the limiter, just off the wall, just about. This car was absolutely stunning before it came here at the weekend, still is, but the back end of it looking a bit rest up. He's not shy putting up against the wall. Alex Williams already sitting on 87.7. Is there room to improve on that, Mike?
There
is just about. It's an 88.7, up in his score by just 1 point for the young 22-year-old Alex Williams.
Yeah, fantastic stuff there from Alex. And we move it along to TJ Toomey, who is a rookie driver and is currently not qualifying for battle action, so he has to improve. It is a 62.7. Oh, he's gone the wrong way here. It's a wrong way drift for TJ. Car looked like it hooked up there at 2, and he tried to reinitiate, but the car was already facing the wrong direction. It can actually happen quite easily there at 2 because, once again, the grip comes on very, very thick and fast there just between 1 and 2. So it won't be an improvement, I would say, for TJ. I don't see him improving at all with that mistake at the start. So he is in the rookie championship though, so he will be scoring within his own championship still. So let's see what he gets at least. As we look down the track to Simon Osborne, I believe it is on the line. It's a 58, yeah, no improvement there for TJ Toomey, but once again is a rookie driver, so will be scoring in his own championship. Simon Osborne in the first 350Z once again is leaving the line.
Absolutely. Simon Osborne initiating, coming over the hill, a huge flick here. One of the Rashman, as I said, YouTubers, always entertaining online, and they're going to be entertaining out here on track. Misses zone 3, pushing right out to the edge of zone 4. Bit shallow on the line, but making it work. Stock power, only 291 brake in this 350Z. Getting right out to the edge of zone 6. Small bit early on the exit of that zone. First time ever competing as well for these guys. I was watching their video only recently enough. They only just bought the cars as well, so still trying to catch grips with it, trying to learn it, see what competitive drifting is really about.
Yeah, so we do have the leaderboard now live on screen at all times, so we will be able to bring you the live qualifying scores as they drop in, and it's a 57.7 for Simon Osborne, which won't see him in for battle action, but once again is in the Rookie Championship. And we move it along. And on the line, it should be Sean Finnell, the Ballyburn Utilities man, self-sponsored. And he's on a 53.7 so far, if my notes are to be believed. And yes, that's what the live stream says. So Sean Finnell needing to improve here. Once again, this guy, he's a wild man behind the wheel usually. But in competition, you know what? He just seems to be a little bit more measured. It's the opposite to most people. This is a lot better lap here. Not a lot of angle from Sean, but it's a very, very measured lap. He's pretty much bang on line. And just using all the VQs here at him to see what he can do, and it's a lot better lap here from Sean. Maybe not a lot of angle, but just using momentum to get the 350Z through the course here. Keeps the throttle pinned through the transition and fills up the zone across the line, maybe even a foot wide of it, and it's a much better lap from Sean. Absolutely.
Compared to his first run, it looks like he's been practicing since his first run, but
might have been on the sim.
Maybe there's a sim set up down in the pits. An improvement for him. It's a 63.3 for Sean Finnell. Unfortunately, not seeing him in battle action, but
he's a rookie once again.
Yeah, it's scoring in his own championship, the rookie championship.
We will, of course, have a junior podium and a rookie podium later on as well, guys, so stick around for that, as well as, of course, the outright Pro 2 podium. And it is not uncommon at all to see the rookie drivers and the junior drivers on the Pro 2 podium outright as well, so it is possible to take home 2 trophies from your Pro 2 day. So we move it along. It is Sean Farrell on the line in his BMW, currently on a 0, so it's all to do here with the angel-eyed E36 BMW of Sean Farrell as he hammers it through the gears and flicks it in big style into the Japfest layout here, that famous layout in Mondello Park that we all know and love. And looking a lot better, locks up all 4 coming into outer zone 4 there. And now really getting it together. Sean Farrell looking a lot better. Oh, almost hits the wall, just about gets it out of beautiful proximity. The photographers there under the bridge in Mondello will have great shots of that, I'm sure. And it's a lot better here, guys, from Sean Farrell.
Absolutely, sitting on a 0 at the moment, so loads of room to improve, of course, and putting a score on the board for himself. It's 75 to Sean Farrell. Just under.
Sean Farrell? Is he a singer?
It sounds a bit.
Is he a singer?
75 on the board for him. Anyways, we're moving on to our next driver coming over the hill here. Another E46 is Ross Patterson, already sitting on 82.3. Will he improve? Missing 3 just about there, but getting into 4, dragging a handbrake, trying to get him in there. Still a small bit shallow, not exactly the line the judges want to see, but he's using all 550 brake underneath of that car. 29-year-old man trying to gain as much experience as he can in competition drifting.
Yeah, just letting it kind of labour there and letting it bog to maintain his line through 6 there, and then give it the big clutch kick before transitioning it for 7. So nice style there. Not an improvement though. It's a 75.3 for Ross Patterson, rookie driver as well. But having an 82.3 earlier, Ross is still up there, and he's still in 28th position, so he might see battle action possibly. Ronan Doherty is a little bit higher. He's currently in 15th place. Now, can he improve to cement his place in the top 32, which I think he should see, but you never know because all these big runs are still to come. Ronan is a Pro 2 outright driver, so it is all to play for here with him.
Absolutely. Look at him, he's feathering that throttle just in front of the grandstand here to get back into zone 6, right up against the line. Really controlled. 86.3 already is what he's sitting on. Will he improve on that, Mike?
I like that lap, Adam. That looked very good to me, to be honest. Just nice. He looked like he was a step ahead of the car at all times. So let's see what the judges think of that one. Yeah, it's an 87.7. Slight improvement there, putting him up into 11th position. So remember, guys, championship points on the line for qualifying as well, and also the theoretical easier battle as Radon Burkett on a 58 so far fires his BMW into the track here. The Pro 2 driver outright as well. So it's all to play for. No championship points to be gained for qualifying within his own championship here, like the rookies and the juniors have. But again, if you qualify in the top 10 in Pro 2, I believe you do get Pro 2 championship points too. So
absolutely,
yeah,
Red Don
much better.
Absolutely, a lot more commitment there as he came through 1, 2 and 3, sitting on a 58 already. I'm sure it's going to be an improvement. 343 brake on that car, and it is. He's seen himself in battle action later on. As well, it's an 81.7 for Red Don Burkett.
He's in 29th, Adam, so it's going to be tight. There's a lot of drivers to go yet, so it is a slight improvement. Niall McNamara fires in his BMW. He's currently on a 70. He is not qualifying so far, but he is a rookie driver. So we'll be looking to get his place on his podium later on with a big lap here. Is he going to do it, Adam? What do you think so far?
We're going to see as he puts it up against the wall here in front of the grandstand, pushing right out to the edge of zone 6, maybe just about dropping a tyre, a tiny little bit in a correction there as he comes out of it. But the second half of that run definitely looking a lot stronger than that initiation.
I love Pro 2. I just love it, seeing all the drivers coming through, seeing all these new names and faces which become household names over the years, and it is a 72.3, so it is an improvement for Niall. Won't see battle action, but will be in the rookie championship. No, man, he's definitely not coming through the ranks. He's been there, done that. It's Mikey Walsh in Diarmuid O'Connell's beautiful AE86. The Mallow in here from County Cork, almost taking the front bumper off of Diarmuid's beautiful Truno here for him. And Mikey Walsh going a bit tight there into zone 2 in the SR20. Little, well, since there's a Truno front, it's actually a Sprinter, Adam. The Sprinter Truno. And did you know that Truno is thunder and Levin is lightning? Did you know that?
Never knew that.
Well, no, I did. And now you did too. So, yeah, Mikey Walsh there in the Truno. It's an 82 for Mikey Walsh, putting him into 29th position, dropping Nathan Corcoran into 33rd position, who still has his second lap to go. So that is interesting. Mikey Walsh with an 82 goes into the qualifying spots for now.
Absolutely, Mike. Great improvement, as he says. Lightning as well. He's actually down in the paddock area at the moment, but on the track, we're looking at Luke McCormick coming over the hill here in that BMW E36, using every bit of momentum to get it all the way into 3. Unfortunately, not. It looks like he's shutting it down here. No, he pulls the handbrake and gets that car initiated again. Completely missing zone 4 here. A bit of a scrappy one, already sitting on a 0. This is not how he wants his weekend to go.
Yeah,
Looks
I mean,
like he's struggling just a small with that car, Mike. Only 190 brake horsepower. Is this track too much for him?
Possibly with that power, yeah. He's doing very, very well for what he has. I mean, if he got a wet, I'm trying to think of a track that 190 works on.
I saw doing the rain dance in the track last night.
Maybe he was doing a rain dance, yeah. I was going to say a wet Watergrass Hill, but you have a long pull there. You might get Watergrass Hill out of 190 horsepower in the wet, but not Mondello Park in the dry. So Luke McCormick with a 34.3. The rookie driver. So we move it along. Luke Fisher's on the line with a 67 so far. The Pro 2 rookie driver in the green machine is sitting on the line, just waiting to make sure that the track is clear here. The marshals maybe just doing a little bit of tidying up there after Luke McCormick's run.
Absolutely, Luke
and
Fisher.
We've actually had, I'm not going to curse it now surely, but we've actually had quite a fast run through qualifying here. No stoppages as such, no recovery truck. Watch now, somebody's going to explode a diff all over the track.
You've ruined it, Mike. You've ruined the commentator's curse.
Yeah.
We won't say any more. Luke Fisher, the digger driver. Not a Fisher, a digger driver. Luke Digger driver. Coming over the hill here. 67 is his current score. Can he improve on that in that Skyline chassis as he uses every bit of momentum to get into 3, out into 4. Looks like he's struggling just here small, but he's not. The car's very quiet. I thought he was, but he's getting it right around exactly where the judges want to see. A safe run here from Luke Fisher. A bit shallow there on the final hour zone, but pushes it and tries getting across the line here. Luke Fisher, 400 brake horsepower, 20 years old. 67 is his current score. Will he improve on that?
Yeah, I like that run. I mean, he was shy there from 6, but I thought it was overall a good run, and it's an 83 for Luke Fisher, which puts Callum Coogan now into the drop zone on an 80.7. So 80.7 is the current drop zone now. Coming into the track, it is Kieran O'Dwyer, the North Kerry man, on an 86, the man from Athy, actually. Sorry, County Limerick.
Athy, County Limerick?
Yes,
so it is.
sorry, my bad, actually. I knew that. Kieran O'Dwyer, so Athy, County Limerick he's from, I knew that. And Kieran here in the BMW. Does it sound like it's breaking down?
I'm not too sure. It usually sounds outstanding. If it is breaking down, he's getting
good,
across the line. It's that V8 power.
Yeah,
sounds so aggressive and sounds amazing.
Yeah, I just thought it might have been missing a tiny bit there coming in, but no, it sounds good as he crossed the line there. So Kieran O'Dwyer from Athy in County Limerick with an 85, so very consistent. Kieran still sits in 17th position, so I think he's going to be safe for battle action later.
Absolutely, we saw him throughout the winter series, especially here in Mondello Park when he came up, working on that car, trying to dial it in as best as he can and getting ready for the main series this year, which is this. So I'm glad to see he's making it into battle action. Anyways, we're moving back to the line. It's another driver, Kevin Sheedy in a 350Z. He comes over the hill here, trying to use every bit of that power in the car. Dragging a handbrake there for zone 4. Looks like oh no, he's still making it work, Mike.
Yeah.
Very shallow on the line though.
Yeah, you can hear the VQ there getting the throttle bopped on it. It's not quite a 4AG on the bop, but you can still hear the throttle inputs there coming through crisply enough. And Kevin, yeah, he does a lot of exhaust fabrication work there and stuff, and he's very prominent in the drift scene, but still learning this chassis a little bit. So let's see what Kevin scores. And it is a 48.7 for the rookie driver, so it is an improvement, and he will score points within the rookie championship. Now we move it along to Jason Collins isn't there, so it is Jan Reichler, the man you said is from Cork, Adam, according to your commentary notes, which you have very tidily done here, I must say.
Very tightly alphabetical order and everything, Mike.
Yeah.
Insane stuff. Yeah, the 38-year-old from County Cork, a rookie driver. We've seen these guys many times down 360 in the practice.
He says he has a spoon at a sword fight with this car, is what he says.
A spoon at a sword fight. I know they've put a lot of work into himself and other members in welded gear solid. Look at him coming over in here, just struggling just a bit, trying to pull that handbrake and make sure that back end of that car kicks out as much as possible. The car sounds great with an N52 inside of it, that BMW raw engine sound. Gets it into 5, up against the wall here, not rubbing the wall or anything, but safe enough into 6. Transitions to get it across the line. It's a fresh build up as well,
yeah.
Mike. So for round 1, they've been anticipating this for quite a while, trying to get things set up. I was chatting to them a bit yesterday, and they do think that maybe they might have to look into more power in the near future. Yeah, well, it doesn't hurt anyway, but he does score 59, so that's an improvement there for the rookie driver. As we move along to a man who is on a 91.3 at the moment. In 4th position, it's Jack Kelly. Can he improve here, guys? Can he go top in qualifying? We all know him. Let's see what he can do. Big flick in, maintains the angle, not a lot of correction, maybe tiny adjustment on the front wheels, also drops a wheel a tiny bit into the dirt, but I'm picking nits here because it's so good, to be very honest. Big angle coming out of 4, that's exactly what the judges want to see now. Puts foot to floor to Jay-Z and absolutely mullers the backlight. That's another Toyota Mark II JZX 90 backlight, gone to God. And that is a lovely run there from Jack Kelly, and I think he deliberately just gave it the touch off the wall there for the judges. Absolutely insane, a great looking car, great run. A man is around the scene quite a while, doing a lot of bash days and stuff, putting great scores on the board. 91.3 for run 1 and 88 for run 2. Quite consistent there for Jack Kelly, the man behind JK M Sport, as well as Pulsar Turbo. Thank you.
Turbo.
Cheers. I was struggling with that one. Struggling, so I was. Turbos in Ireland.
We say a lot of words. We're going to fumble some.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, Jack Kelly looking good for battles there, and that is a big chassis, so he's in all the clips at all times, to be honest. Now, Jack Irwin is on track, ready to leave the line in the BMW. The junior driver, don't have a huge amount of juniors actually this week, Adam, compared to last year. It's only a few showing up, which is unusual because we had a huge grid of them last year, but they all got older, I suppose. What happened?
Absolutely, I suppose so. And speaking of junior, this man's only 16 years of age, putting over the hill here in Mondello on that E26.
He's not over the hill, he's only a young fella.
The S54 under the bonnet of that car, only creating 330 brake horsepower, and he tried getting it all the way on the line, the way the judges want to see, and he's doing quite a good job of it, quite controlled for only 16 years of age. Already sitting on 84.7. Will it be an improvement on that?
Yeah, it's a good run there. He was right on that wall as well, and the junior driver, I think we've only a couple of junior drivers actually. We had probably 10 last year, but they just must have all passed the required age. So Jack Urban's score still dropping in. We'll keep an eye on that. It's an 86.3. He does improve.
Great improvement. We're moving back to the line, Mike. So our next driver up is Crashjan. Not going to attempt second to him, but an unbelievable looking car. Look at this. All the speed and momentum coming in through there.
Oh, just catches grip. Maybe went for throttle, maybe went for the gear change there. And I know it all too well. You're usually doing a down change there, depending on your ratios, obviously, and your torque and all that. But if you go for the down change there, you really have to ram it home into gear, and you're trying to pop the clutch at the same time. So maybe just didn't get the gear change right there. Did Gracjan Chichelski.
Gracjan Chichelski.
I'm going to call him that anyway.
Going to struggle with that one for here.
I'll ask him later.
Only 18 years of age, an unbelievable looking car. Already sitting on a 74, but it is going to be a 0 for his second qualifying run, as we can see him here.
Might be Chichelski.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, it's
he's parked down below if you want to go ask him.
Cielski. I will. I'll go down and ask him.
Yeah, do run down there.
I'll run down there and ask him.
As we can see him coming out of the car here. Everyone up at that side of the track, up around zone 4. Give him a bit of a clap for coming over the hill here. His first time competing, 18 years of age. The young Kildare man.
Yeah, so let's see. How's it going, boy? Queer, how'd you say your name? That's when you're from Cork, you see.
Well, we have the chance anyway, Mike. I may shout out a few people as well as let everyone here in attendance know that the one and only Lightning McQueen is actually here with us today. So he is. He's down in the paddock area. He's travelling all around Ireland. This car is actually made by Pixar, so it's the real deal. It's the real Lightning McQueen that's down there. So if you want to get a few photos or ask him any questions, I'm sure he's down there. I'm sure he talks. He does talk, doesn't he? Cars talk.
I never actually watched Cars, actually. I gotta watch it. Yeah, I know. I gotta watch it.
Old, aren't you?
Probably, to be honest. Yeah. So I really gotta watch that one. Too busy playing COD.
I suppose you are. That's what I do whenever I talk to you. Busy lad, playing COD. Anyways, talking about shout-outs, once again, I want to give a huge shout-out to our title sponsors of this year. It is Lucky Day Competitions, where you can see loads of giveaways, competitions, raffles, and so on up there. At the moment, we're actually raffling off the Drift Games S14 as well as a Skyline drift car. We've seen them builds on the channel, so you can actually buy tickets for them tomorrow. They'll be down in the Lucky Day stand, as well as Red Bull Energy, who's keeping us awake and alive throughout the year as we get a bit tired. But as well as all our other sponsors, Kenda Tires, Drift Mafia, Strom Wheels, GMD Tires, Yugen Factory, Group D, Turn Tire Distribution, Max Flow, Exemplar, Exact Signs, and Lexi Brake. Plenty of Irish brands in there, so if you are looking for anything car related, drift related, make sure to check them out. They're the place to go. Shop local.
Absolutely, yeah, and thank you once again to all those sponsors which help to keep this championship alive and bring it from strength to strength. We did, of course, through COVID times, the championship was, I won't say in trouble, but it was definitely took a knock, as according as a lot of the drivers who had been there for years maybe had families or had to do the house thing, etc. And then, of course, you had the whole COVID thing, so we didn't have tracks open. And yeah, definitely a tough time for the series in terms of having dates and stuff, but the Hines family took it over, and eventually then the tracks became more available, the venues opened up, the world opened up, and all the new drivers came of age as such, Adam, and it is going from strength to strength to strength once again. And I think the strength and depth is back in the field, and it's really, really good to see all the young guns who we saw coming up through these rookie and junior classes, becoming pro drivers. The likes of aforementioned Owen Magner with his SR22 there with the 730 brake horsepower in an SR, which is crazy. All those young guys who came through are absolutely killing it these days. So yeah, fantastic to see, and the championship again is going from strength to strength. Thank you to the sponsors and all you guys as well watching on live stream and out there in Mondello Park enjoying the sunshine, probably getting sunburned out there at this stage. Thank you for coming and supporting this series, and I hope you are enjoying it. And of course, we are teeing it up for the big day tomorrow, which will be Japfest. 16,000 people here, all those aforementioned pro drivers, including Owen Magner, as we said, and all his friends and buddies. We'll have Jakob Krishak going for the championship. We have the one and only Dylan Garvey back in action on Irish soil, who came back in the middle of last year, and I think he was it 3 from 4? He did 4 events, he won 3 of them. something like that. He was stopped in Rose Green, I think, but you know, he was absolutely flying it apart from that. So it'll be super interesting tomorrow. The pace is going to come up, the grip levels are going to come up, the power is going to come up, and everything just goes up such a notch as well for Pro Action. And of course we will see some of these guys in there as well, so keep an eye on the battles later on. We'll see exactly how many drivers will go up. I'll talk to Kieran Hines now and just figure that out, and we will be seeing some of these in action. And the commentators course did happen, of course, Adam, because
you caused the mic.
I caused it. I said we've gone flying through qualifying, and of course I hadn't said with 5 minutes, and we do have an off and a stoppage, but that is part of it. And of course we don't have any big oil cleanups on track or anything, so it'll be just a case of recovering Gratian here and getting back in action. And your leaderboard here, guys, of course some drivers have to run a second time yet, but still leading it is young Jack Mulvihill from North Kerry, closely followed by Glenn McKillen, 1 point behind on 95. Clark Hatton from the north is on a 92, and Jack Kelly is on a 91.3, and then Dylan Wilson is on a 90.7 in fifth. So we will just go to an ad break while we're recovering Gratian here, and we will be back with you in just a couple of minutes time.
Absolutely. Before we go to the ad break as well, if you have any questions, make sure to head over to our Instagram. I'm putting up a story just there with a question box, so you'll be able to ask us any questions, any behind the scenes or anything like that. Myself and Mike will be sure to answer. But until then, make sure stay around. Action will be back very shortly. We'll see you after the ad break.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless to transcend.
This is how we do.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here in action for IDS Round 1, Pro 2 in Mondello Park. We have the stricken car recovered and we are ready to go back to the line. And we have about just about 2/3 of the field for the second half of qualifying to go, and the scores are going to be coming in thick and fast from here on in. So it is going to be a 0, of course, for Gretchen. And we move it along to Glenn McKillen, who is on the line with a 95 from his first lap here, guys. A 95, sitting in second position just behind Jack Mulvihill. So can Glenn McKillen put in a huge lap here and actually take top position in qualifying? Remember, there are championship points on the line for the Pro 2 drivers if they get in that top 10, and if you qualify very highly, you have the advantage in the top 32 of a potentially easier battle, because you'll be going up against somebody who qualified a little bit lower. So Glenn McKillen now fires in the beautiful 180 in over the hill. SR20 screaming, he fills up zone 3, gets the car turned very well for 4. Maybe doesn't fill out the start of zone 4 perfectly, but overall very nice line from Glenn McKillen. Now puts foot to the floor, passes us here in the tower, full throttle. He's right on the outside, maybe too much so. And once again gets the transition done. I don't think it's going to be a match for his first one, Adam, but it's certainly a good lap.
Absolutely a good lap, Mike. 19 years age, the County Wicklow young man. 95 on the board already, sitting in second place in qualifying. Puts down another unbelievable score though. It's an 88.7, no improvement, but we will be seeing him in battle action very shortly after lunch. Unbelievable, like his mic says here.
With my mic off, yeah. Unbelievable, like. So Gavin Skehan is on a 0 so far. Can he improve? Because he is currently not qualifying. All the pressure in the world. Now remember, these cars would have been rebuilt over the winter, maybe not visually, but they would have got a lot of work. It's been a long, hard winter, lots of money involved. You get on the line in Mondello, you've done your practice, and all of a sudden you're there with nobody but yourself for company, on the line in the driver's seat, just looking up the hill at the initiation point with all the nerves in the world and all the weight of the world on your shoulders. And Gavin Skehan kept it together, Adam.
Absolutely. He's sitting on a 0 after his first run, unfortunately. Definitely putting a score on the board, and he does. We've seen him in battle action. 89.7
wow.
for Gavin Skehan.
Yeah, Gavin Skehan now knocking Niall Looney down into the drop zone. So Gavin Skehan, actually I would say he's going to knock Red Don Burnett down. So Gavin Skehan, yeah, he's in 6th position as we move it along. Finbar Crowley with a great beard. Not a great first score
as he comes over the hill here, trying to make his way, use every bit of momentum in that stylish E94, as he says, E91 chassis stays getting a lot better throughout the second half of that run. Already sitting on 62.3 in his rookie championship, so no matter what, he will be earning something out of this. Will it be an improvement on that 250 brake horsepower underneath that bonnet in the engine of that car? The County Cork man. It's a 63.7, a small improvement. Won't be making it into battle action here for his first time competing, but he definitely will be putting a score on the board. Anyways, back to Kerry. It's Owen Foran, Pizza Boy, coming over the hill here in the X-County Culture 180 SX. Look at this, the momentum, the speed. He's really putting that car to use. All 500 brake horsepower right out to the edge of zone 4. Owen Foran put out a great run so far. 72.3 already on the board. Will it be an improvement? I say it will, Mike. This is insane. First time properly competing. Great stuff here from the 32-year-old Kerry man.
Yeah, the rookie driver there, right on the wall, really liking the style and commitment on that run. Like you said, the ex-Candy Culture car with the beautiful distinctive wrap, and it's a huge score for Owen Foran with an 88. So great high stuff. 80s, yeah, the rookie driver. The crowd going wild for that one there. So 88 for Owen Foran, putting him joint 9th actually there. So Red Don Burkett now drops out into 33rd position. Mikey Walsh is in 32nd after doing his second run. It's going to be a long, nervous wait for him as we move it along. It's Derry O'Donovan. Oh, it's not Derry O'Donovan, I do believe. We had the same thing on the first one. Is this Daniel Gardiner, I believe?
I'm sure so, as he has a bit of struggle there around the initiation into zone 1, 2 and 3, fixing himself for the second half of this run. Small bit of a straight in there to start, so I'm not too sure will this be a great score. Already sitting on a 0, so still room to improve. 280 brake horsepower underneath the bonnet of that Donegal man's car. definitely putting the score on the board for himself this time around. What will it be, Mike?
Yeah,
it's a 31.3. Not a great score, unfortunately.
No, but once again, a rookie driver will pick up some points just for qualifying and will get himself on the board in that championship. And we move it along to Dale McBreen, who is very capable of almost topping qualifying, to be honest. It's a 78.3 for Dale, so he is currently not in battle action. The Pro 2 driver, it is all to play for. And unfortunately, he just backs out of
Commentator's curse, Mike. You said so well. Possible of topping qualifying, and unfortunately goes into the gravel.
Yeah, potential hero to 0 on that run anyway for Dale McBreen.
11-0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Dale McBreen just locking up there as he got into zone 4, and you know, you also have to keep the car pinned way after zone 3 until you do your transition. You can't back off at 3 because you literally will be like all day getting to 4 on a handbrake drag. So you have to go down into 4, full commitment, get on the foot brake, get on the handbrake, slow the car and get going. And if you're using that technique, that committed technique, which gets you onto the outside line on 4, it can sometimes go wrong if you don't press all the buttons in the right order. So yeah,
absolutely. Only a second year competing, so he's plenty of experience to gain upon. But anyways, we're back to the line. It's Conor Liddy coming over the hill, sitting on 69.7 in that MX5. Look at this, using every bit of momentum, almost looking like that car is going to go on its side, but it's not. He's using the momentum to push that small 210 brake horsepower MX5 across the line. He's doing a lot better job this time. He's using what he learned in his first qualifying run to his full advantage. Look at this, Mike. For such a small car, such low horsepower, insane stuff.
he must have been late for his hair appointment.
Sure, you wouldn't know about that with all hair.
I wouldn't exactly, yeah. It makes 5 things, but you know what, Conor Liddy making it work, that is for sure. And let's see what score the judges give him. 69.7. Oh, just a slight improvement. It's a 70.7, so just 1 point improvement. But once again, a rookie driver, huge rookie class this year. Not so many juniors, but lots of rookies.
Absolutely. We're back to the line. Is Christy Gerard coming over the hill. Look at that skyline. Listen to it. Insane stuff. 550 brake horsepower. We've seen this man last year in a few rounds putting out some great runs, and he's doing the same so here again today. 72.3 already on the boards. He transitioned up against the wall in front of the grandstand. Zone 6, right out to the edge as he fills the place with smoke. Another great run there for Christy Gerard. I would say a bit of improvement on his last run, so there was.
Yeah, well, let's see. It is an 85.7. You're absolutely right, Adam. 85.7 for Christy, putting him into joint 21st position, which might see him safe. Should do, I would say, but 82.3 is the drop zone. Now, Mikey Walsh is in 33rd position, so he's out of competition. Ross Patterson is now in 32nd.
Absolutely, and it's another 350Z coming over the hill here. It's Chris McConnell. 280 brake horsepower in that car. A bit of a struggle there around zone 4, dropping tyres, almost going too deep into the zone, but the better half of this run will be the second half as he gets up against the wall here, really trying to push that car to its limits. Trumpets is what they're usually described as, Mike, when you hear that stock 350 engine going around the place.
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
So, let's see what Chris McConnell can get as we make our way quickly through the field. It is a 62.3 for Chris McConnell, 62.3 as we move it along to another rookie driver. It should be Cathal O'Grady coming into the track, and it is indeed. Remember, Cathal O'Grady, the commitment that he had on the last one there, maybe not so perfect this time. He's on an 85.7, so he's pretty safe. But I'm sure he would like to score higher. Oh, and he will not be scoring higher. Just snapped on him there in the transition. The S14 there, just maybe a little bit twitchy there, Adam. Still maybe some handling gremlins in the system there.
Absolutely, a new car to him, the X-Drift Games car. Having some great days out of it, practice days, but still trying to dial it into his own liking. Do not, Mike, I think I might pull that microphone off you, because every time you're saying something good about someone, they seem to be spinning out and scoring zeros.
My bad.
Anyways, we're back to the line. It says Liam McGill. It's not Liam McGill coming over the hill. It's a different driver.
It's Brendan Carney, if you remember. I think he had the hands device issue on the first one.
Absolutely. Well, he's back out now again. It's Brendan Carney for his only run of qualifying after, unfortunately, not making it out in his first one, pushing right out to the edge of zone 4. Not the ideal line that judges want to see. but making the most of it, trying to slow down his momentum as he comes into zone 6 here, maybe a bit too fast. He gives it a clutch kick and tries putting all the power back into them back wheels and gets it across the line.
Yeah, one to get it done, and Brendan Carney possibly getting it done here. Let's see what the judges make of it. It's a 57.3. He's not going to get it done, Adam.
57.3. Very unfortunate for him, but we will surely see him back in round 2. Now it's back to the line, and it's Liam McGill, a man that's always out on track, always trying to do everything he can. He says his car is a bit more like a Frankenstein than a drift car. Sometimes wants to be an E46, parts from every sort of car. It's a BMW engine underneath the bonnet of that RX-8. Liam McGill competing last year, so he has a bit of experience, and he's getting into zone 4, trying to push it right out to the edge, but improving every time I see him out on track. So he is, as we can hear that turbo floor past the grandstand here in Mondello Park. A lot better of a run this time, small bit of a straight in there, going really wide as he crosses the line.
Yeah, I think Liam just needs to really hit the throttle hard as he comes into 4 there, get the rear wheels lit, and dial on some angle to get him around the corner, because up to that point he was looking good, but once again same kind of issue. But it is an improvement. It's a 74.
Absolutely a 74. Now we're back to one of 2 Lexus or Altezza chassis coming down over the hill. It's Niall Looney sitting on 80.7. Not enough for battle action yet, so will he improve on it as he use every bit of momentum, deleting the back bumper off that car there through zone 3, pushing it back out for zone 4. Niall Looney using the power underneath that all 400 brake of it, and look at the speed as he comes around here in the second half of his run, Mike. Definitely an improvement, but I don't think it's going to be improvement on his already score after that mistake after zone 3.
Well, somebody's going to get a cheap Lexus bumper out of it anyway, at least, so let's see what Niall Looney can score.
It's already been picked up. One of the lads are walking away from it.
Yeah, 20 quid.
Yeah, gone.
77, so not an improvement, and Mikey Walsh still sits in 33rd position. Ross Patterson in 32nd, so Ross Patterson is in the drop zone, and Luke Fisher and Gar Collins are right there, as is Mattis Karaitis in 29th position. So yeah, nervous times.
Absolutely, and another times here now is Tom Hayden, 79 on the board already. Will he improve it? He needs to improve in that beautiful 180 SX with a very stylish livery on the side of it, getting into zone 4 there, a bit shallow on the line, consistent though, keeping it nice and smooth, fluid across the track as he gives it a nice push to get into zone 6 there, a lot more deeper than he was in zone 4, and transitions get across the line. Tom Hayden sitting at 79 already. Is going to be an improvement on that, Mike?
Well, he's not in the show so far, Adam, so it has to be if he wants to qualify, and I know he's going to have some championship aspirations, and he does improve. It's an 86.3 for Tom Hayden, so big improvement there on score.
Big improvement. We'll be seeing him in battle action. He's making a show later on, but
yeah,
before we talk about that, we're back to the line. There's another driver coming over the hill. It's the one and only Dave Richards, another Kerry man. The lads are out today. Dave Richards looking a lot more improved on this, a lot more controlled. Bit of a straight in there before zone 4, but he's getting the line dialed in, right in there throughout zone 4, nice and deep, transition to the 5 and up against the wall here, just rubs it exactly perfect, exactly how the judges want to see it. Dave Richards sitting on 69 at the moment. I say that will be an improvement for him.
Yeah, like you said, Adam, good run there. Just that little bit of a straighten to be concerned about, but let's see what the judges think of that. A man fully capable of putting in a huge run on his day as well, but yeah, maybe not a perfect run there on that transition, but it's an 81.3, but it's not enough for battle action. Very close, but not enough for battle action. The cutoff point is currently 83.
83, so it is, but we're moving back to the line now again. It's Patrick Golden coming over the hill, not in a golden car, but hitting off the limiter. It sounds insane. Bit of a straight in there again before zone 4. You really stand out, Michael, what you said earlier on. Zone 1, 2 and 3 is what makes this run, what gives you the points. If you don't get it right, you're not going to put a high score on the board. But the second half of this run is looking a lot better. So fluid there through zone 6 and across the line, hitting off the limiter. Great run there from Patrick Golden.
Yeah, all the torque in the world in that supercharged V8 there, and Paddy Golden doing a good job with it, and he knows how to use it. So it's an 81.3, good consistency, not an improvement, and Paddy is sitting currently in 28th position, so it's going to be a long wait for him. Stefan Wills is the Pro 2 driver, currently not qualifying either, on a 62.7 in the 180 SX here. Goes a bit shallow on 3 as well. The judges won't like that very, very much, because that is a crucial part of the track there between 2 and 4. And it is all to play for here by Stefan Wills. Looks very happy in his profile picture. Might not be that happy after this run because he might not be qualifying, but let's see. It's a better second half of the lap, but the standard is quite high. Obviously there are 80 drivers just going for 32 positions here, so it is a tough field to qualify in.
Absolutely. For the last 2 seasons, he's had a lot of engine trouble, so he's hopefully fighting them gremlins and getting them out of the way. It's a 73 on the board for Stefan Wills, an improvement, but not enough for battle action. Our next driver is coming down over the hill. It's Ericus Naviskos once again in that stylish E46. Look at this. The pace as he comes down, pushing right out to the edge. Sorry, Ronan McGrath coming over.
You're getting confused in your 46s. Yeah, it does look like Ericus's car, to be fair. So, yeah. But Ronan McGrath is doing a better job this time. Definitely a 74 on the board on the first lap, and unfortunately for him it's not enough to qualify so far, but let's see if he does enough this time. It's going to be 83 or above to qualify. Luke Fisher now sitting in 32nd position, followed by Gar Collins and Mattis Karaitis, and then Francis Hines actually. So it's tight, but he scores at 80.7. Ronan McGrath improves, but not enough. Heartbreak for Ronan McGrath, doesn't qualify. Pro 2 is such a tough mistress at times, and Ronan McGrath unfortunately not qualifying. It is a big field here, and the level is very high. Jason Gallagher is on a 76.7. The rookie driver currently not qualifying for top 32 action. Will have a good score on the board for the rookies. Looking better here. The beautiful drone shots. Oh, look at the style. Beautiful angle there into 4. As the drone shots show us exactly where the car is on track. Oh, look at this. Flicks the car back. Maybe dials on too much angle too quickly. Gets a little bit away from the wall too early there. I knew exactly what he was trying to do, trying to flick it onto the wall with the back of the car, but unfortunately it compromised his line quite a lot, and line takes precedence over style every day of the week. So Jason Gallagher will bleed off points there, and yeah, it's a 65. Jason Gallagher in the rookies will score points, but doesn't qualify for top 32 action in Pro 2.
Unfortunately not, Mike, but our next driver is coming over the hill here from Crexon, saying Daniel Gerard.
Yeah.
In that
on a 0
at the moment, at 180SX, hitting it off the limiter as hard as he can, trying to get into zone 4, really deep into that zone. We make it into 5. Listen to that car. Screams past the tower here. Very shallow here. Completely missing the zone. Very scrappy run there from Daniel Gerard. Probably suffering with some gremlins inside that car. Already sitting on a 0. I couldn't imagine it being too great of a score. Yeah,
it's a 53.7 for Daniel Gerard, so the rookie driver as well not qualifying for battle action, and that is him putting the car on the trailer. Unfortunately, we lose Saoirse Lee Barrett, so Saoirse Lee Barrett is out of competition. If you remember, she had gremlins on her first run there, so that 180SX still proving to have some bugs in the machine there, so we have to move it along to Dean Dillon, I believe, who is on a 0 currently, the Pro 2 driver. All to pay for here. He misses zone 3 completely here, Adam. The judges are going to crucify him for that one.
Absolutely not what the judges want to see. Not the ideal line through zone 4 either. Quite shallow on it. Sitting on a 0. Will we see him in battle action? A bit of a thump off the back of the wall, leaving his mark. A great sounding car, great looking car, but I'm not sure that's what Dean Dillon wanted to see. Bit of a tongue twister, that name.
It is. So let's see what the judges make of that one. It is a 62.7. It's a huge improvement over a 0, but not enough to qualify, as Luke Fisher sits in 32nd position still in front of Gar Collins and Mattis Karaitis, followed by Francis Hines and Paddy Golden still hanging on. So we do have Edgar Linus on a 58, the rookie driver. Let's see what he can do here, Adam, in the 350Z with 2JZ power.
2JZ power. Oh, doesn't look like all that power is coming to use right now, Mike. Bit of a struggle there through zone 2. Straighten up. The eldest driver on our lineup this weekend as well, Edgar Linus, hitting it off the limiter now. He's found the power, the 500 brake underneath the bonnet of that car. Very scrappy run, unfortunately. I'm not too sure is it car gremlins he's having, or is it just not how that run started, how he wanted it to be. 58 at the moment. Couldn't imagine it being too much of an improvement, if any, for Edgar Linus. It's a small bit of improvement, 58.7, and we're back to the line now. Our next driver is up, wife of the one and only Matt Darren. It's Kat Darren on the line in her very stylish E30 V8 powered supercharged.
Cat and Matt.
crazy stuff. This car is a bit of a everything put together, but it works and it looks insane. 75.7 already on the board for Kat. Can she improve on that? She has the ability to do it. Will she do it? Here she comes over the hill in that stylish little E30 as we hear that turbocharger whine.
Supercharger even.
Supercharger whine over the hill.
A Jaguar
Scrappy.
supercharger at that.
Sure so, Mike.
Yes, very interesting build, that's for sure. A bit shy there from for Katja Darren on a 75.7. Good score from Katja. She'll be happy with that one, but unfortunately, it's not enough to qualify in this super unforgiving Pro 2 field, guys. We know that it is so hard to qualify in Pro 2. That's why it breeds the best of the best. If you get out of Pro 2, you're ready for Pro. That's just the way it is. And some would say it is harder to qualify in Pro 2 than it is in Pro, and they might be right, to be honest. So Katja Darren with a 50.3 does not qualify. She'll be happy with her first run though as we move it along. And leaving the line, it is Shane Ward. No, not the singer, it is Shane Ward, the drifter. And he flicks in his Sylvia, currently on a 0 from the first run, and completely misses zone 3 once again. A big scoring point for the judges, and also sacrifices 4 here. Unfortunately for Shane, he's looking a little bit more comfortable in the car. The style and the transitions are okay there, but the line is completely not okay. And commentators, of course, again, the transition got him there. So I'm just going to shut up.
Yeah, we're going to have to cut you off, I'd say.
I'm just going to shut up.
There hasn't been a 0 when I've been calling her on yet, Mike. Very unfortunate there for Shane Ward. Such a lovely man. Great to chat to if you get the opportunity to. Another 0 on the board for him. Anyways, we're back to the line. It's our top qualifier, Mike.
Here we go. It is Jack Mulville, currently sitting in top position in qualifying. Flicks into Sylvia once again, almost backwards. Oh, he went for the backy and just had to correct it a bit. And you know what, Adam? If you're on a 96, that's what you got to do. You've got to go for the backy.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's working out for him. Zone 4 there. A bit shallower late on the entry to it, but still a very stylish one. He doesn't need to put down a good score this time. He already has a great score on the line. Jack Mulvihill, the young Kerry man, only 16 years of age, filling Mondello Park with smoke. Insane stuff.
Yeah, he's like such a lovely, quiet, unassuming guy out of the car, and then you put him into the driver's seat and that's what you get. Make it make sense. But Jack Mulville, still with a big score. It's an 88, just a bit of a correction there on the way in, but it's still a big score, and he's still top in qualifying.
Absolutely, still in the top spot, so he's feeling fairly safe and confident coming into battle action for sure, so he is. And up next on the line, we have David Flaherty in his BMW E46 450 brake. The Galway man initiates, coming over the hill here, making his way into zone 3. A lovely livery on this car, very stylish, modern style. Bit shallow there on zone 4 for David.
Loving the switch from loving the white car with the blue to red livery. Looks really, really good. Classic racing colours, white, blue and red. And Dave Flaherty here does have to improve quite a lot. Pro 2 driver outright, so no rookie championship or whatever to be competing in. So it's all to play for here for Dave Flaherty. I don't think it's going to be enough, but let's see what the judges make of it.
Absolutely, 63.7 already on the board. Not seeing himself in battle action. Unfortunately, he won't be again. It's 70.7 on the board for himself. We're back to the line. The next driver's coming over the hill. A very stylish, hot pink car. The 4D Autos. David Ford sitting in 7th position in qualifying already. Another great run on the line here. 89 on the board in the first run. Will he improve on that, Mike? Look at this car. He looks absolutely outstanding. It pops and bangs past his tower here, where all us judges are and stuff. So he'll definitely get a few style points for that, I'd say.
He got a pops and bangs map.
Pops and bangs map.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, we are hoping to be in top 32 action at 3 p.m. So just letting you know in advance, if you want to get down and maybe grab some food or get down to the vendors, it is going to be 3 p.m. And David Ford with an 88, so super consistent there for Dave Ford, the Galway man of 4D Autos. And he will be looking good later on, because that is consistency very much there. So Niall McInerney, the man from Clare, currently not qualifying with a 76, so he's a Pro 2 outright as well, so it's all to play for here. Everybody left here actually is Pro 2 outright, so all the rest of the drivers, rookies are done, juniors are done, it's all Pro 2 from here out. So now Niall McInerney, what can he do as he puts foot to floor here in the BMW? some new suspension work on that car, some DC Racing coilovers, and new spring rates there, spec'd by himself and his brother Jason, and it's looking much better this time, guys. This is a way better lap from Niall McInerney as he crosses the line full throttle there in the BMW and looks very comfortable that time. They might have dialed it a little bit better in the pits there, and you know what, it's worked for Niall McInerney. It's a 91.7, huge score, putting Niall McInerney into 4th position. The Clare man jumping straight there into the top 5. What a run from him, and he'll be delighted with that. So we have to move it along. Once again, no waiting around in Pro 2. There's no time to dwell on it. Niall McInerney with a great score. Now Luke Fisher drops down into 33rd position, unfortunately. Gar Collins sits in 32nd position, but still has to run. So Gar Collins, all the nerves will be on his shoulders. Francis Hines, who's currently leaving the line, is in 38th position here, guys, with an 83.7. He has to improve as well, because there are lots of drivers who can still knock him out. He wavers a tiny bit at 2. He hits the throttle in the SR to get it into 3. It's a shallow transition into 4 here, doesn't really flick it onto angle, but you know what, he's on the right line, and it's a nice smooth transition. Beautiful camera angle there from the bottom of the track, and he's bang on line here around zone 6. Now flicks it back and full throttle across the line. Doesn't have the legs or the wheel speed at the SR to make it to 7. Completely misses the last zone. Will this kill him score wise? We'll have to see, because the judges are about to drop in the score. And it's an 86. If he picked up that last zone, he was in the 90s there, I think.
We will be seeing him in battle action, I'd say so.
Well,
Mike. We'll have to find out.
He goes into 23rd. Let's see. Alan Connaughty is on a 74.7.
Look at the angle as he comes over the hill here.
Wow.
Mike. Insane stuff. Alan Connaughty putting on his show. Will he hold it? Oh, unfortunately not. Now I have to curse. Fix it though. Gets back into 4 quite late, but makes it into 5 here and for the 6. Just dropping the wheel, I'd say, there at the second half of 6 transitions, get it across the line and into 7. Can we go back and talk about that entry? Absolutely wild stuff from Alan Connaughty. The angle and the speed that he brought in, using every bit of momentum, but unfortunately it affected him, and he won't be getting full marks. It's 66. We won't be seeing him in battle action later on. Very unfortunate. Yeah, look at this qualifying. I'm just looking here. Peter Malloy, who is one of the top drivers who stayed in this championship from last year, currently sits in 29th position. Gar Collins, top driver, he's in 32nd currently. Wow. Stuart Gordon is currently absolutely nowhere, because he's on 68.3. He has to improve as he flicks the R32 in over the hill. The big wing doing his job, keeping the back of the skyline hunkered down. Oh, and the commentator's car. So once again, can he keep it going? Can he get out of the gravel? Let's see. Don't spin the wheels, labour it out. That's the job. Hey, big round of applause there, guys, for Stuart Gordon. Not delaying the proceedings here. Loses a side skirt in the process, but you know what? We don't have to get the old teleporter out for that one, or the recovery truck. So fantastic stuff. But Stuart Gordon, guys, does not qualify. Stuart Gordon leaves the track a broken man, because he is not qualifying. Unfortunately, the Pro 2 driver will be putting the car on the trailer. But you know what? Coming in thick and fast, it is the one and only Kieran Lynch from Cork. Currently residing in Carricknavar, but from the city originally. Lynch scaffolding, self-sponsored, dabs the handbrake, adds on a bit too much angle there, and it carries him out of zone 4 very, very early. Kieran Lynch is on an 85.7, is possibly safe. He's in 26th position, but you know what? There's still a lot of drivers to go that might knock him down here, so he'll still want to improve, and I don't think he's going to, Adam. I don't think he will either, Mike. He was looking so promising at the start of that run, but just before zone 4 there, it looks like things all went wrong. A 69 from his second qualifying run, already 85.7, so he should be safe. Either way, we're moving on to our next driver. It's Matas Karaitis coming over the hill.
No, Matas
right on line, so he is.
Matas sits in 31st position here, guys, so it's all to do. Matas Karaitis is probably looking at heading out of competition if he doesn't improve on this lap. He's on an 83.7. Can he do it here? Very promising driver as well on his day. It goes very early into the wall. Oh, he hits the wall, but you know what? He kind of manages to hold it at him. Came away from zone 6 a bit early as a result, but really liked the driving style there. He made a mistake, transitioned too early on 5, got into the wall too early, didn't have the momentum to kind of glide him off the wall, so had to do something. Hit the wall, And then it kind of all went wrong at 6. Does he improve? He doesn't. It's an 80. Matas Karaitis sits in 31st position. The nerves must be absolutely crazy. Nathan Corcoran, with all the 800 horsepower, is on a 79.7. He has to improve, or he's not in competition in this car, which David Garvey put on the podium in Pro last year. So the car is capable. Is the man behind the wheel, the owner of the car, capable? Well, we're going to find out in about 30 seconds time.
I'd say so, Mike. Look at this from Nathan Corcoran. Fill in the place with smoke.
Oh.
79.7 on the board already. He has to improve on this. 800 brake horsepower sounds insane as he crosses the line.
It sounds great, yeah. He came away from zone 6 very early there, Adam, as he fills Mondello Park here with tyre smoke with all those horsepowers. I think he was on a good lap until coming away early from 6. And it's a 79. It's exactly the same score almost as first time, but it's not enough to qualify Pro 2, once again being such a tough mistress. Nathan Corcoran there with a perfectly good lap, but it's just not good enough in this gang of drivers. Gar Collins still sits in 32nd. Ryan Nelly is currently in joint 27th. It could be 29th even, depending on their second lap. So Ryan Nelly potentially actually in 29th. He's tied with Eric Snavitskaz and Peter Malloy on 84. It's much better. Look at this. Oh! Flicks it in. Ryan Nelly going for the big style, loses it on the second corner and absolutely throws away his second chance. He's not safe here. He's joined 27th, 8th and 9th with Peter Malloy. In the event of a tied score here, guys, we go back to the second score. So, you know, Ryan Nelly will have a long wait now until the end of qualifying. We'll keep you updated. We have the live scores here on screen now on the live stream. So, as we move it along, who's this leaving the line? We don't have info. I know who this is. This is Callum Coogan in Stephen Halferty's car on an 80.7. Currently not qualifying as well in the borrowed car, or possibly his own car. He could have bought it, and not looking like he's going to improve here either, Adam. Callum Coogan, top driver. We're more used to seeing him in his little E36.
Absolutely, Mike, just about saving himself from going into the gravel patch there for zone 4. A bit of a scrappy run, already sitting on 80.7. I'm not too sure will it be an improvement.
No, it's not going to be, Adam. He's not going to improve on an 80 with that very scrappy run there, unusually so for Callum Coogan. So Callum Coogan, a driver who you would bet your bottom dollar on to qualify, will not be in competition. I'm pretty willing to bet by the time his second score drops in. We don't have time to dwell on it, because out on track it is none other than Gar Collins out on track, I believe, because you know what, he's sitting in 32nd position in his new S13, and he absolutely has to improve here, or there's a very, very real chance that Gar Collins gets knocked down. Now he's on a better line here. He's right out to the wall. He transitions it really nicely, uses the V8 to get out to the last zone there and crosses the line. He's on an 83.3 in 32nd position.
He's going to be sitting on the edge of his seat, Mike, until qualifying is over. Does it look likely he'll be
Believe it or not, guys, Gar Collins scores at 83.7, up from an 83.3, putting him level, I believe, with Matas Karaitis. So he's still in the drop zone. Crazy stuff here. Stefan Mooney is safe so far. He's on an 87.7.
He sure is safe. He's out on track at the moment, creating loads of smoke and getting into zone 4, pushing right out to the edge. Stephen Mooney, a 17-year-old man from County Down, loads of talent, and he's proving that right here in front of us. Look at this. Great run from Stephen Mooney very early as he leaves zone 6 here, and just gets it across the line with loads of speed in the second half of that run.
Yeah, Stefan Mooney, again, a fantastic prospect, and the young man from the north looking very, very good. So it's an 82.7, doesn't improve, but he's safe for battle action. And once again, guys, we will have some drivers coming up to Pro Action tomorrow. We'll let you know about that in due time during the battles. Now leaving the line, Clark Hatton, very safe on a 92, currently in 3rd position. Can he top qualifying? Flicks in the little 2 series over the hill, 2 JZ power, loads of angle, fills up number 3, perfect here from Hatton. Uses the handbrake to get him settled and locked up the front as well on the foot brake. Now feathers the 2 JZ as he crosses number 5, big angle. Now flicks it beautifully off the wall, dials on too much angle though, and just gets caught. Going for the big score there, Adam, and we saw it as well with Jack Mulvihill. If you're on that kind of score, you can afford to flick it, do the big angles and take the chance, and if it comes off, you might top qualifying. If it doesn't, you're still there.
Absolutely, Clark Canton. He has big plans for himself in the future with drifting, so make sure to follow him on social media and you'll be seeing all that happening. We're going back to the line. It's Andrew Kenna coming over the hill in the second of our two Lexus chassis. Look at this, or Altezza chassis, so I should say. Lots of momentum with too much angle. Andrew Kenna struggling, but he's making it work. He's not stopping. He doesn't care if it's not the line the judges want to see. He's making up his own line. He is. Straightens out and shuts it down here just in front of the tower. Yeah, just shuts it down there, Andrew. Just got caught out there with a bit too much angle at 3. The Altezza chassis, it always seems to struggle a little bit there at Zone 2 in Mondello. Remember Dai Yoshihara driving the MG crash repairs one many moons ago and struggling a little bit on it. Brendan Stone made it work quite well. But yeah, a lot of them struggle here at this particular section of track, whatever's in that kind of wishbone type setup in that chassis. So Colin O'Sullivan, the young Kerryman, is on an 87. He's safe. He's in 16th position in the midfield. Can he improve here? He does have it. He does have the ability to improve. He absolutely has the ability, Mike. And if I know Colin O'Sullivan, he's not going to come out here playing it safe. He's going to come out here and try to take that top spot from another Kerryman, young Jack. So watch this. This is going to be entertaining. Colin O'Sullivan, huge initiation coming over the hill here, creating loads of tire smoke, push all the way through 2 and into 3, now into 4. Colin O'Sullivan pushing right out to the edge of the track. That car looks absolutely immaculate. His family always keeping in the best conditions, and Colin using it to his best ability, just rubbing it off the wall. Really stylish from young Colin O'Sullivan, only 18 years of age, 500 brake horsepower, and that's exactly what he needs. Big pop across the line. Yeah, a little backfire across the line there for Sully as he completes his lap there, his second run, and we're almost through qualifying. He does improve. Big score here from Colin O'Sullivan, putting him straight into joint 4th position with Niall McInerney on a 91.7. So the big score starting to drop in now as we're in reverse championship order and really going down through the bigger drivers as we move it along to Conor Duggan, who's on an 86.7, also safe. Let's see if he can improve here in the CDM Sport. E46 V8 BMW, sometimes a V7, sometimes a V6. You never know. This weekend it should be a full V8. You never know. It sounds like it as that car growls and roars past the tower here, getting his way right into Zone 6. Oh, did you see that right on the wall? Loads of angle there. That Zone 6 there was outstanding by Conor Duggan. I don't know if you saw that there, Mike, right on the wall. The top part of the spoiler just came right over, bent right in. Conor Duggan putting loads of style into that. 86.7 is the score already. No improvement, unfortunately. Only 81 on his second run. And look at this. He will be safe for battle action. Gar Collins, Patrick Golden and Mattis Karoitas are all tied on 83.7, so we'll have to split them according to their other run. So Bartek Blazjetski is currently on an 87. He's in 17th position. Look at this commitment as he absolutely fires the BMW in over the hill here in this beautiful Mondello Park circuit here, and the weather absolutely fantastic today for drifting. And let's see what Bartek can do for the second half of the lap though. Can he actually improve on that big 87 score? He's not out to the outside of Zone 6, and I don't think that he is going to improve because the judges do want to see that zone filled right up near the end. They said you can start to make your transition towards the end, but up to that point they want to see it filled fully. So he does improve. It's an 89. 89, another great score for Bartek Blazzetski on the board. Wouldn't expect any less from the young man. He's like he's won with that car. But we're going back to the start line. A fella that has another great score, 88 on the board already for Justin Murphy. He's coming over the hill, getting through 1 into 2 into 3. The speed, look at this, and the angle. He has his car dialed in exactly as he needs it. Small bit shallow through 4, but he's on line doing exactly what the judges want to see, creating loads of smoke, pushing right up against the wall. Justin Murphy looking on a show for us here in Mondello Park. And he crosses the line. Another great run for Justin Murphy there. Yeah. And look, he got through qualifying without turning things upside down. He did, yeah. He stayed on all 4 wheels this year, which is fantastic stuff, actually. So the very local man here does improve tiny bit there. It's an 87.7 for Justin Murphy. 88.7. Or 88.7, my bad, sorry. And that puts him into joint 11th with Alex Williams. So once again, guys, in the event of a tight score, we will be separating drivers according to their other run. So it's going to come down to very fine margins here in the drop zone as we move along to Marcus Heinen. Speaking of drop zone, Marcus Heinen currently not qualifying once again, enters the track a tiny bit too early and has a little bit of a waiver at 2. Might not be as much of a deduction this time around, but just shuts it down. The Village Tires S13 just getting shut down there, unfortunately. Went for the loud pedal and silence followed at him. Unfortunately so, Mike. As you can see, actually no, it looks like there's the front tire is rubbing on everything there in
Yeah,
parts of the car.
something's,
Suspension issues, I would imagine.
Something's collapsed there in the front. Yeah, absolutely. So an arm has failed there in the front of the car, I would say.
Both right-hand sides of the car.
No, he did.
Front and rear.
He did come in over the curb. Maybe that caused it, I'm not sure. But he did come in over the curb there quite hard, and I know, like, towards the end of action in the day, the dirt inside the curb can drop down quite low because other cars have dug it up basically, and there can be quite a drop down and a banged in when you get back up onto the far side of the curb, which is sharp.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not chamfer, it's not like gradual. When you go down inside the curb, it's sharp, so that might have been it. But we don't have time to dwell on it either. Erikas Navitskaz, who could be a favourite for the championship, is on an 84, and he might just about be safe for battle action, but he really will need to improve, to be honest, because he's going to have a tough battle being this low down the qualifying order. And yeah, look at this lovely lap, and he is improving, I would say. That's a great lap from Erikas Navitskaz. Just came in under the radar there, Adam. No fanfare, just put in a really tidy lap.
Absolutely, a man that's all about style and making sure his car looks very clean, keeping that real street Japanese style on a European car. He improves on his score, Mike. He heard what you were saying. It's an 88.3 for Erikas Navitskaz.
Yeah.
A very stylish one.
13th position.
13th, a great position to be in, so in the middle of the board.
Now, young Jamie Hines is on, he's on the line anyway, number 1, and number 2, he's on an 88 so far, and that sits him in joint 14th with Owen Ford and Andrew Malloy. So Jamie Hines will be wanting to improve as well. Again, as we've said many times, does have it in his locker to go into the 90s here. Let's see, can he improve on it? Flicks it a little bit early here, uses a small bit of the track only as well. Yeah, and sure enough, just puts him a little bit on the inside. Just entered the track a tiny bit early, but overall not a big mistake, but it does put him a little bit early for every zone. Now he should have time here to make it back up and extend the transition, and he does. Gets it right on the wall. Beautiful line onto the wall actually from young Jamie here. Now flicks it right back. Does exactly as the judges want there. Fills the zone, then comes away just before the end and crosses the line. Perfect second half of the lap. Absolutely textbook second half.
Absolutely, Mike.
I think if he was 20-25 feet later on his initiation, he would have been just a little bit better off.
One thing to stand out and say there, at the start of that run, you're saying he has the ability to go up to 90. You say it so casually, it's wild. He's only a young man, 17 years of age, 82 on a second qualifying run. Attention straight back to down the hill. Coming over is Jake McElveen, another young man, only 18 years of age. In that car, looking absolutely outstanding, pushing it right out to the edge of the track. Oh, look at this on the live stream, the real outside line, taking the cone out of it and all. Jake McElveen putting on a show for us here, an outstanding run, 86.3, a strong score already. Is he going to improve on that? Small bit early from zone 6. But unbelievable talent from the 18-year-old. Stephen
and crew looking on there, and Kilkeel is the hometown of this young man from County Down as well. Lots of Northern Irish drivers, of course, and fourth year in the championship, and just not an improvement, but very consistent. It's an 85 for Jake McElveen. Doesn't improve, but he's well up there still. And Dylan Wilson, speaking of well up there, is on a 90.7. He's in 7th position with that. Can he improve in the beautiful 2JZ E92? You want to pop the bonnet of this thing and have a look, guys. It's amazing. Look, lovely flick onto angle. That's the perfect place to initiate a beautiful flick onto angle there. And look at this. He gets it right onto the outside. Possibly just drops a wheel a teeny bit, but I don't think he's going to get penalised a lot for it. It was minuscule. Dials on the angle through 5, then gets the wall rub. Now, maybe could have just brought a little bit more speed into 6 there in order to maintain that outside line, but we're picking nits here because these guys are so good, we have to. But you know what? You'll go to Pro2 tomorrow, and everyone is doing that perfectly.
Absolutely, Mike. You're nitpicking for sure. It's a Pro2 category here, and I've often come to watch drift masters and drivers not put down as good as a run. It's an 83.3 for Dylan Wilson. Another great score on the board. Not an improvement, so he stays on 90.7.
Well,
keeping him quite high up in the board.
Everyone left. There's 2 cars left. It's the Malloy brothers, the top 2 in the championship, who are left from last year. Peter Malloy and Andrew Malloy. They're both safe. Can Peter from County Down improve here in his beautiful BMW? He flicks it in. Maybe could have been a bit wider there on 1 to be critical, but yeah, let's see what the judges make of that. He's on an 84. It's not a good score for Peter Malloy. It's a 29, but I guess from Mondello Park, with the power that they have, it's still an extremely respectable score. He's right on the wall there. And once again, using the S54 to the best of its ability here, but maybe not the perfect engine there. You know, it's 300 20 brake horsepower-ish, I presume. But it's a fully forged one actually, so they might have been running it a little bit stronger there with a map. But it's an 87.7, so he does improve actually. And Mattis Caraitis, Paddy Golden and Gar Collins all survived just about. Luke Fisher is out of competition for sure now. Andrew Malloy is our last driver left, the top driver left in this championship from last year, also from Castlewellan in County Down. Can he improve? He looks good here, Adam. I love the style. He just drops a wheel on the way into 4 there, but it's nothing too serious. You love this car, Adam.
I'm amazed by it. That's why I'm being quiet. Outstanding looking car, so simply just ideal. Stock power and everything by Andrew Malloy. Unbelievable run there as he crosses the line.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Like only 330
Sorry,
brake horsepower.
If you're watching from America or something, that's just an in-joke in Ireland.
What's going on.
Just Google it.
No improvement there for Andrew Malloy in 83.7. So we will be seeing him in battle action later on. Regardless, he is 88. So, Mike, after qualifying, what do you make of that? We saw some unbelievable runs, some sketchy runs, some mishaps, some offs, but
I'll be honest, Adam, I thought it was actually going to be sketchier because the first event of the year always, you know, we saw Saoirse Lee Barrett drop out and stuff, but we did see some mechanicals, but I thought it was going to be sketchier because a lot of these cars have been fully rebuilt over the winter. The drivers are still getting used to them. Some drivers like Gar Collins have changed chassis completely from BMW to Nissan, etc. So I thought it was actually going to be sketchier. So quite a consistent qualifying session overall, and all the usual suspects, well, most of the usual suspects you'd expect, maybe bar Mikey Walsh, when he competes he's usually on it, but he's not in there. So you know, I think it was a good one. I'm happy with it. I would be happy for if I was all these drivers who've made it in, because it's been quite competitive. So we will have to sort out the tied scores because there are several drivers on the same score. But your top 32 guys, in no exact order, we'll bring you that soon. But for your top 32 battles, unfortunately, again, we lose Luke Fisher on 83 points, and your top 32 are Mattis Caraitis, Paddy Golden, Gar Collins, Ryan Nally is in 29th, Cathal O'Grady gets in, Kieran Lynch, Christy Gerrard, Francie Hines gets in, Kieran O'Dwyer, the FA man with an 86, matching Francie Hines. Tom Hayden is next, then it's Jack Irwin, Jake McElveen, Conor Duggan, Stefan Mooney, Peter Malloy, Ronan Doherty is next in 17th. Owen Foran, Jamie Hines and Andrew Malloy are all tied on 88. Ericus Navitz is on 88.3. Alex Williams and Justin Murphy tie on 88.7. And Bartik Blazetsky gets into the top 10 along with David Ford on an 89. Gavin Skehan gets an 89.7. Dylan Wilson, who we just saw, is on a 90.7. Jack Kelly gets a 91.3. Niall McAlearly and Colin O'Sullivan both on 91.7. And your top 3 qualifiers from IDS Pro 2 Round 1 in Mondello Park are Clark Hatton with 92, Glenn McKillen on 95, and Jack Mulvihill all the way up from County Kerry with a huge run, his first day out in that Sylvia, putting in a massive flick over the hill, beautiful angle, beautiful style, full commitment, earning a 96 from the judges. What a run that was, and it's only Pro 2, guys. So from Adam and myself, thank you very much for sticking with us through qualifying. We will be back with the intro for top 32 battle action, I would say, at about 5 to 3. We'll run you through exactly what will be happening in the battles, and we will be into our first battle action for Irish drifting in 2026 in about, what time is it now, Adam? Is it about an hour's time?
I'd say so, Mike.
It is, yeah, about 50 minutes, 45 minutes time we'll be back on, guys. So thank you very much. What a great qualifying session, and we will see you back in 3/4 of an hour.
Absolutely, and for anyone here in attendance today as well, to keep you entertained throughout the lunch break, our pros of tomorrow will be getting a bit of practice out there on track. So if you fancy watching that, make sure to head out and watch that. Speaking of pros, a little quick insight. Luke Talley had car issues yesterday. I'm seeing him out there in his 350 today. So
fantastic.
Bit of drama for tomorrow. We'll see you then. We'll see you after lunch. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Og det viktigste med drifting, det er dekka. Det er eneste vi har som binder bilen til asfalten. Og akkurat som i all annen racing, så er dekka det som avgjør en seier eller en fiasko. Så da vi gikk til Kildare i år, så var det etter flere år med undersøkelser, med tester, med en vurdering av ikke bare hvor Kildare var da, men hvor de er på vei. Det har spilt seg ut ganske bra, kan du si, hittil i sesongen.
Check this out.
Okay.
I look good.
Okay. On the street and I got my swag on. Okay. Get the money, gotta get my bag on. Okay. Triple back.
King of legacy, too ruthless, too transcendent.